around, he would tear our union down. But our union's gonna break them slavery chains. And our union's gonna break them slavery chains. I walked up on a mountain in the middle of the sky, could see every farm and every town. I could see all the people in this whole wide world. That's a union that'll tear the fascists down, down, down. That's a union that'll tear the fascists down. When I think of the men and the ships going down while the Russians fight on across the Don, there's London in ruins and Paris in chains. Good people, what are we waiting on? Good people, what are we waiting on? So I thank the Soviets and the mighty Chinese vets, the Allies, the whole wide world around. To the battling British, thanks, you can have 10 million Yanks if it takes them to tear the fascists down, down, down. If it takes them to tear the fascists down. But when I think of the ships and the men going down and the Russians fight on across the Don, there's London in ruins and Paris in chains. Good people, what are we waiting on? Good people, what are we waiting on? So I thank the Soviets and the mighty Chinese vets, the Allies, the whole wide world around. To the battling British, thanks, you can have 10 million Yanks if it takes them to tear the fascists down, down, down. If it takes them to tear the fascists down. You gotta walk that lonesome valley. I'm blowing down this road, dusty road. I'm a-blowing down this old dusty road. I'm a-blowing down this old dusty road, Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm a-going where the water tastes like wine. I'm a-going where the water tastes like wine. I'm a-going where the water tastes like wine, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm a-going where the dust storms never blow. I'm a-going where them dust storms never blow. I'm a-going where them dust storms never blow, 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 and I ain't gonna be treated this way. They say I'm a Dust Bowl refugee. Yes, they say I'm a Dust Bowl refugee. They say I'm a Dust Bowl refugee, Lord, Lord, but I ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm a-looking for a job at honest pay. I'm a-looking for a job at honest pay. I'm a-looking for a job at honest pay, Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. My children need 3 square meals a day. Now my children need 3 square meals a day. My children need 3 square meals a day, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. It takes a $10 shoe to fit my feet. It takes a $10 shoe to fit my feet. It takes a $10 shoe to fit my feet, Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. Your $2 shoe hurts my feet. Your $2 shoe hurts my feet. Yes, your $2 shoe hurts my feet, Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm a-going down this old dusty road. I'm blowing down this old dusty road. I'm a-blowing down this old dusty road, Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. It was early springtime and the strike was on. It drove us miners out of doors, out from the houses that the company owned. We moved into tents up at old Ludlow. I was worried bad about my children, soldiers guarding the railroad bridge. Every once in a while a bullet would fly, kick up gravel under my feet. We were so afraid you'd kill our children, dug us a cave that's 7 foot deep, carried our young ones and a pregnant woman down inside the cave to sleep. That very night you soldiers waited till all us miners was asleep. You snuck around our little tent town, soaked our tents with your kerosene. You struck a match and the blaze it started. You pulled the triggers of your Gatling guns. I made a run for the children, but a firewall stopped me. 13 children died from your guns. I carried my blanket to a wire fence corner, watched the fire till the blaze died down. I helped some people drag their belongings while your bullets killed us all around. I never will forget the look on the faces of the men and women that awful day when we stood around to preach their funeral and lay the corpse of the dead away. We told the Colorado governor to phone the president, tell him call off his National Guard. But the National Guard belonged to the governor, so he didn't try so very hard. Our women from Trinidad, they hauled some potatoes up to Wallensburg in a little cart. They sold their potatoes and brought some guns back, and they put a gun in every hand. The state soldiers jumped us in the wire fence corners, did not know that we had these guns, and the redneck miners mowed down them troopers. You should have seen them poor boys run. We took some cement and walled the cave up, where you killed these 13 children inside. I said, God bless the Mine Workers Union. Then I hung my head and cried.
All right, folks, there we go. I finally got it to work. Hello, everyone. Hello. Let me set this up a bit. Having some difficulties with the camera there. Oops. Still kind of freezing a bit. Move this around. See if I can get this to. There we go. Okay, let me get my. There we go. Okay. Oh, finally. All right. Just a series of issues there. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you, guys. I, for some reason, was having a few technical difficulties there. There we go. Um, Fantastic, folks. Hello, hello. All right. So, how's everyone doing? Let me see. Let me see who's here. Let me see who's here. Take a look. Let me take a look. This down a little. You know, this. Why is this thing not securing? I don't know why I'm having like a few technical difficulties today. There we go. Okay. That's better. All right. So let me see who's here. Let me see who we got. We got Long Beach Dragon. Hello, Long Beach Dragon. Long Beach Dragon, you say interesting country music. So technically it's folk music, but that ended up becoming country music, which is interesting because if anyone heard the lyrics, it's pretty subversive stuff. Pretty subversive stuff, okay? Probably an example of repressive desublimation there. Hello, Toya Toya Toya. Welcome back, Toya Toya Toya. Dubois, I hope he talks about Bella Ciao. I am not going to talk about Bella Ciao today, but at some point, Dubois, I will definitely do something about Bella Ciao. I love Bella Ciao. Of course, I love Bella Ciao, right? And the great anti-fascist song from Italy. Okay. Toya Toya Toya. There's a reason for that. There's a reason it reminds you of Red Dead Redemption 2, because some of the origins of this kind of music was from that time period, the American folk music. Okay. Let's see here. Who else we got here? Toy Toy Toy, Lohi's Dragon. Macy. Hello, Macy. Welcome, Macy. Welcome, Macy. Winterlinde. Hey, Winterlinde. Let's see here. Who else? Who else? Okay. Oh, Lynn is here. Hello, Lynn. Good evening, Mithril. Good evening. Toy Toy Toy. I was hoping Casual Revolt would talk about individual / community actions against fascism. That is so funny you say that, Toy Toy Toy. So I was actually yesterday I was talking with the admin on our Discord page, and I am planning to do a stream about different forms of resistance, different ways of taking community action. So we will absolutely have a stream. See me. Can anyone here hear me or see me? I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with my internet. If anyone can hear me, please let me know, just so I know that it is in fact functioning. Because it appears on my end that it's functioning, but I know there's something going on. But all right. Yes, we're back. Oh, good. Okay. I don't know what happened there, folks. The internet must have cut out. Okay, good. So let's keep going here. All right. So let me see who else is here. Thank you for folks that stayed around. Something going on with my internet. Okay, let's try this again. All right. So yeah, it froze, folks. It's back. Mute. Welcome, Lee Lane, Mithril, Okay, Long Beach Dragon, sad about the Catholic school shooting in Minnesota, and of course, our leader's response, yes, let us pray, absolutely, of course, Long Beach Dragon, of course, of course. There we go. It's back, Drusilla, hello, Drusilla. Nope, it wasn't just you, Alan. The whole thing froze. It literally just disappeared on me. I think the internet cut out, and then I had to wait for the internet to come back on. I don't know what happened. Okay. Let it go, let it go. Yes, exactly. Long Beach Dragon. Hello, Bartholomew. Hello, Matt Sally Guy. We got a lot of good folks. Uh, okay, no, Macy, I'm not trying to do Twitch yet, partially because I don't know if my internet connection is strong enough. I think the internet just randomly cut out. I don't know why. It doesn't normally happen, but okay, guys. Uh, let's take a look here. Who else we got here? Excellent. I'm so glad. Okay. Okay, did I get everyone? Okay, good, good. All right. So, folks, what we're going to do today, okay? You noticed I pulled this screen up here because this is what we're going to be talking about. I'm just going to get right into it because I know I already made you guys wait a bit, given the internet problems. Today, what I would like to do is talk a little bit about the music, the anti-fascist movement, the anti-fascist music of the Great Depression era. And I think you will all enjoy it. We're going to listen to some music together. And I know, Long Beach Dragon, you mentioned worrying about copyright. All of these songs are in the Library of Congress because they're considered open domain. Excuse me, or like yeah, in the open domain, or yeah, they're common creative, so they should not be have a there shouldn't be a copyright issue here. All right. Oh, that's amazing, Lynn. You like this kind of music? That's fantastic. Folks, just a reminder here, if we get 5 super chats, I'll put on the Jester hat. If we get 10, I'll put on the Jester collar. 15, I'll put on the Jester makeup, okay? Looks like we lost a few people because of the internet, but that's okay. It happens. So let's get into this a little bit. I wanted to talk about this because yesterday we kind of had a rough stream with what we were watching and stuff. This, I hope, will give people a little bit of hope. Also, it's just kind of fun to listen to, and it might inspire people in ways that they can resist through art. Okay, because there was a lot of people during the Great Depression, during the rise of Hitler in the United States, who were using music to fight back against fascism. Um, and you can also hear me, right? Okay, my face disappeared. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's get into it then. All right. The first thing here is let's talk, okay? Um, all right. So the you see here, right, Mithril folk music was very subversive back in its day, and then it kind of turned into country music and kind of was subversively desublimated, and it lost a lot of its, I guess, subversive tint. Okay, so let's get into this. So the first person I want to talk about with all of you, and I don't know if anyone knows who Leadbelly is. A really good American, very interesting character, was around 1888 to 1949. Okay. And we're going to listen to a couple of his songs, but first, let me tell you about him. Here is an image. Here is an image of Leadbelly here on the right. Okay. He's a very interesting character. He was convicted of murder and sentenced to 30 years in prison. But he was so good at writing music that he wrote a song that basically pleaded for forgiveness, and the governor gave him that. His music was so good that the governor pardoned him because the music convinced the governor to pardon him. He was also once convicted of attempted murder, and was after that, and then was put back into a penitentiary, and he was discovered by some producers who was like, "Hey, this guy has a lot of talent." Okay, um, and he ended up getting released. And there is a theory that he was released because once again his music convinced the basically the governor of that state to release him. It's unclear if that's true. It probably isn't true, but definitely his producers kind of use that as a marketing point. Okay. And Leadbelly, as you can see, was black, right? And he grew up in a very, 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 very rough time for Black Americans. Okay. So he deeply understood what it was like to be in a minority group that was oppressed and things like that. And you're going to hear that in some of the music of his I play for you. Okay. He also hung around a lot of socialists and trade unionists and was basically a socialist or a trade unionist at the time of World War II. So let me just get right into it. Let's see. Let's hear one of his songs. Okay. The first one we're going to hear for the socialists and Marxists in chat, you'll get his reference here. Okay. It's called the Bourgeois Blues. All right. And He went on, by the way, to inspire a lot of later, especially black musicians, and he wrote the Bourgeois Blues in 1939. Okay, and I'm going to play the song for you. I'm going to have to get out of this screen real fast to do it. And this is the Bourgeois Blues. Now, I'm going to play it, and I will try to read to you the lyrics. It'll be hard to understand him because this is a very old recording. I won't be able to say all the words in the lyrics because he does use the N-word a couple times to make a point about something. But I have the, as you can see, I have the lyrics up here on screen. So just listen along, and we will see what he has to say. Now then, what is this song about? Before I start it, let me tell you. After he got kind of famous, he moved to Washington, D.C., and Washington, D.C. is sort of in the South, so there was a lot of discrimination against him and his wife because they were black, and he hated it. He absolutely hated it, obviously, and he hated sort of the wealthy folks, the wealthy music producers who didn't really care about the poor and stuff. So he wrote this song, and it's called the Bourgeois Blues, and let's listen to it now. Let me let me know that you can hear it, folks, when it starts.
Listen, young people, listen to me. Don't try to buy no home down in Washington, D.C., cause it's a bourgeois
So listen,
town. Ooh, it's a bourgeois town.
it's a bourgeois town.
I got a bourgeois blues, I'm gonna spread the news all around.
And I'm going to spread the news all around.
Me and my sweet wife and Miss Monica run all over that town. Everywhere we go to people, they would turn us down, Lord, in a bourgeois town.
That's a bourgeois town.
Ooh, it's a bourgeois town.
It's a bourgeois town.
I got the bourgeois blues, I'm gonna spread the news all around.
All around.
Some white folks in Washington, they know just how. Some a colored man a nickel just to see him by, Lord, in a bourgeois town.
So he's saying that all the white men called the black man the N-word just to put him down.
I got the bourgeois blues, I'm gonna spread the news all around. Me and my sweet wife Martha was standing upstairs. Heard a white man say, I don't want no Negroes up there.
There is a bourgeois man living in the bourgeois town.
I got a bourgeois blues, I'm gonna
Spread the news all around. So he's saying that when he was with his wife, the bunch of white men was calling him the N-word.
I don't want to be mistreated by no bourgeoisie, Lord, in a bourgeois town.
So he said, I don't want to be mistreated by no bourgeoisie.
I got the bourgeois blues, I'm gonna spread the news all around.
All right. Okay. So that was the Bourgeois Blues. You can see here, I had trouble kind of keeping up with the lyrics there, but generally here, folks, he's saying that, we went to DC and I hate it. There's all these bourgeois folks, okay, down talking me and my wife because we're black. And this one line here, we rode all around in the rain. No colored people would let me in because I was with a white man. And that's a bourgeois place because it's scared to let colored people in if they're with white people. Me and Miss Monica, his wife, went on town. I heard a colored man say, you can't come around. He's a bourgeois man living in a bourgeois town. So he's also criticizing folks, fellow African Americans, who were kind of worried that it might ruin their reputation if they associate with other African Americans. And this one, here's another one, and bring some. When I came back, and bring some white man I couldn't eat, but I got back, found the man. He was the manager. I asked him. He wouldn't say nothing, but just nod his head. Okay. So again, this is a pretty, I guess, subversive song. Let me see if I can fix my camera, folks. But that is Bourgeois Town, and now we're going to listen to the next one. I don't know why the camera's being weird here. There we go. Okay, that should help a little bit. There we go. Oh. So now let's go to the next one here. Okay. The next one is another one by Leadbelly. And this one, again, anti-fascist all around, is called Mr. Hitler. Okay. And remember what I told you before, that Leadbelly deeply understood what it was like to be in an oppressed minority group, and he had a great deal of sympathy for what the Jews were going through in Germany. So let's listen now to his this next song here called Mr. Hitler, and the great anti-fascist song here. Here we go. This is Mr. Hitler by Leadbelly. And I'll try to read some of the lyrics for you. This one should be easier for me to do that with. It's going to start with him saying Hitler started out in 1932. When he started out, he took the homes from the Jews. Okay, so you'll hear that at the beginning here. And here we go. 1932. Hitler started out in 1900. He took the homes from the Jews. Now here comes the great chorus. I hope you all hear this every day for the rest of your life. Tear Hitler down. We're gonna tear Hitler down. We're gonna tear Hitler down someday. We're gonna bring him to the ground. We're gonna bring him to the ground. We're gonna bring him to the ground someday. Oh, love the chorus there, okay? We're gonna put it out. He took the Jews from their homes. From their homes. One thing, Mr. Hitler. He said, that's one thing, Mr. Hitler, you know you done wrong. We're gonna tear Hitler down. We're gonna tear Hitler down. We're gonna tear Hitler down someday. We're gonna bring him to the ground. We're gonna bring him to the ground. We're gonna bring him to the ground someday. You ain't no iron. You ain't no solid rock. You ain't no iron. You ain't no solid rock. You ain't no iron. You ain't no solid rock. No, you ain't. What we American people say, Mr. Hitler, you is got to stop. But we American people say, Mr. Hitler, you has got to stop. We're gonna tear Hitler down. We're gonna tear Hitler down. We're gonna tear everybody down someday. We're gonna bring him to the ground. We're gonna bring him to the ground. We're gonna bring him to the ground someday. Mr. Hitler, we're gonna tear your playhouse down. Mr. Hitler, we're gonna tear your playhouse down. Mr. Hitler, we're gonna tear your playhouse down. You've been flying mighty high, but you're on your last. You've been flying mighty high, but you're on your last go round. We're gonna tear Hitler down. We're gonna tear Hitler down. We're gonna tear Hitler down someday. We're gonna bring him to the ground. We're gonna bring him to the ground. We're gonna bring him to the ground someday. All right, last couple of... You know you so keen. You ain't so keen. Okay,
But we making people say you're the biggest liar they ever seen.
But we American people say you're the biggest liar we've ever seen. Hitler down. We're gonna tear Hitler down. We're gonna tear Hitler down someday. We're gonna bring him to the ground.
We're gonna bring him to the ground. We're gonna bring him to the ground someday.
And done. Okay, so this song, Winterlinde, was 1942. So this was right before America joined World War II. So that was Mr. Hitler by Leadbelly. Okay, do we all like that song? Do we like it? Yeah, I love that song. I have that tune stuck on my head sometimes. We're gonna tear Hitler down. We're gonna tear Hitler down. Okay. So that was Leadbelly. He wrote a lot of music like that during the time of fascism. Okay. Very subversive music here, right? Total banger. Total banger. I agree, Sir Bartholomew. Mithril, yeah, was it you, Mithril, that was talking about? That was saying how he like the great a lot of like great tone shifts there. Yeah, so this and we talked about repressive desublimation a few days ago. This kind of music turned into country music, and country music not subversive at all. A lot of it's not subversive. So now let's move on to the next guy. We're gonna listen to a couple songs of. This is Woody Guthrie. Okay. Woody Guthrie, big badass. Look at this picture of him. You see, whenever he performed in public, he would have a little sticker or would write on his guitar the following. It says, "This machine kills fascists." Okay. This machine kills fascists. Now, okay. Yes, Woody, we, okay. So Woody grew up during the Great Depression, all right? I'm going to play a song that he wrote that you all will definitely know. I'm not going to give away what it was. That's badass, Sir Bartholomew, that you have a sticker like that. I would love a sticker like that, okay? I might get one for the wall behind me. He grew up during the Great Depression. He had experienced very, very, very difficult life. Okay, his parents died while he was pretty young, and he kind of wandered around. And he ended up he was a socialist. Okay, he had a lot of communist friends. He never joined the Communist Party though. He didn't really like being involved in organized politics, but he was definitely a labor activist, a socialist. And he was a good friend of Leadbelly's, okay? And he was also anti-racist. And let me tell you, being anti-racist at this time was extremely rare, okay? Very rare. Okay. So I have another page of him here, just another picture of him. You can see on this, he has on this version of his guitar, he actually has "This machine kills fascists" written on the guitar. And he was more openly anti-fascist Americans, anti-fascist Germans, anti-fascist, any kind of fascism, okay? He viewed fascism as a form of economic exploitation similar to slavery, okay? He thought that fascists were out to rob the world, which, boy, were they, okay? Okay, he also, during the Great Depression, he bashed how economic equality was basically destroying society because of a small, rich elite taking everyone's wealth. And he romanticized the idea of outlaws, okay? And he thought that outlaws were a great idea, like resistors. And he liked a lot of the old Wild West outlaws. He said that fascism, he hated fascists, and he didn't like how during times of economic turmoil and disintegration, fascists tend to rise up. But he really loved heroes who fought back against it. Okay. He portrayed fascists as sort of these dumb gangsters. Okay, I'm going to pause there. So he was very anti-fascist. He was also a socialist. And okay. And now let's listen to the first song he did here. Now you're going to see, remember I told you he was good friends with Leadbelly. you're going to hear that this song, this was from 1944, so this was near the end of the war. This next song is going to sound a little similar to We're Going to Tear Hitler Down, but I think this one is more specific to just fascists generally. So here we go. Let's listen to Tear the Fascists Down by Woody Guthrie, okay? And here we go. By the way, Woody Guthrie inspired people like Elvis Presley. Tons of musicians today were inspired by him. He was one of the origins of rock music. So let's listen to what he has to say.
There's a great and a bloody fight around this whole world tonight. In the battle, the bombs and shrapnel rain. Hitler told the world around he would tear our union down. But our union's gonna break them slavery chains. And our union's gonna break them slavery chains. I walked up on a mountain
in the middle of the sky. See every farm and every town.
I could see
all the people in this whole wide world. That's the union that'll tear the fascists down. That's the union that'll tear the fascists down.
When I think of
the men in the ships going down while the Russians fight on across the dawn.
There's
London in ruins and Paris in chains. Good people, what are we waiting on? Good people, what are we waiting on?
So I thank the Soviets and the mighty Chinese vets, the
Allies, the whole wide world round.
To the battling British, thanks, you can have 10 million Yanks if it takes them to
tear the fascists down, down, down. If it takes them to tear the fascists down.
But when I think of the
ships and the men going down and the Russians fight on across the dawn, there's London in ruins and Paris in chains. Good people, what are we waiting on? Good people, what are we waiting on?
So I
thank the Soviets and the mighty Chinese vets, the Allies, the whole wide world around. To the battling British Yanks, you can have 10 million Yanks. It takes them to tear the fascists down, down, down. If it takes them to tear the fascists down. All right, that was Tear the Fascists Down by Woody Guthrie, okay? I love Woody Guthrie. I hope you all like that. Okay, I get that song stuck in my head. Mithril, you may like Billy's song Between the Wars. It was written about the recession caused by Thatcher and the early... Oh, that sounds amazing, Mithril. I'm going to look that up. I don't think I've heard it. I know, right, Macy? My timing is a bit delayed. My apologies. Okay, I should probably stop singing so you guys can hear. I just want you to make sure you understand the lyrics, okay? Okay, so that was Tear the Fascists Down. Now, here we have another one. And you all have heard this one before. You all have definitely heard this one before. This land is your land. Now then. Okay, we all have heard it. This land is your land. This land is my land. Now then, here's the thing about this song, right? That was written by Woody Guthrie. Yes, that classic American song that's viewed as sort of a patriotic American song was written by a socialist who cavorted with, who associated with communists. Okay. And a guy who was very anti-fascist. Now, the version of This Land Is Your Land that you hear today is not the exactly Long Beach Dragon, exactly. The version that you hear today is not the original version. In the original version, Woody Guthrie included 2 verses that are left out in modern day versions, and you're going to see why. Because Woody Guthrie in This Land Is Your Land is criticizing some aspects of American society, mainly the fact that the wealthy own a lot of land and property, okay? And you are going to hear, thank you, Mithril, thank you. You are going to hear, this is the original recording, okay? There is a verse in here that you have not heard before. All right, so let's listen. When we get to the verse that you haven't heard before, I will point it out and I will tell you what it says, okay? And remember, folks, I want you to think of this song. Every time you hear this song now, I want you to think about who wrote it because it gives it a lot more meaning. Remember, this guy was a socialist. So when he's saying this land is your land, this land is my land, he's trying to tell you that why doesn't the United States belong to everyone? Why don't the people control the United States? Why do all these private corporations, CEOs, and rich people own it? Shouldn't we own it? Okay. It is a patriotic song, but it's not a song that is without commentary. So let's listen. This is This Land Is Your Land.
In the redwood forest.
Oh, sorry, I got started over. Here we go. And this is from Library of Congress.
This land is your land, and this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land
was made for you and me.
As I went a-walking that ribbon of highway, and I saw above me that
endless skyway.
I saw below me that golden valley. This
land was made for you and me. Yes, Winterlinde, it's a very popular song for
I roamed and rambled, and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts. All around me, a voice was a-sounding. This land was made for you and me. There was a big high wall there.
Okay, now, folks, I'm pausing it because I want you to listen very carefully to this part. I will tell you what the lyrics are afterwards, but I want you to hear him say it first, okay? This is the verse that is not included in modern-day versions of the song, all right? I'm going to go back a little bit because I think I got to the beginning of it. Listen carefully to what he says, okay?
There was a big high wall there. There was a big high wall there.
Sorry. 1 second. There we go.
This land was made.
All right, here it comes.
There was a big high wall there that tried to stop me. Sign was painted, said private property, but on the back side it didn't say nothing. This land was made. Okay,
so folks, what he is saying there, I know I'm pausing it. He is saying there, as I went walking there, I saw the sign there. I saw a sign there. It said private property. But on the back side, it said nothing. This land was made for you and me. Okay, what does that imply? It implies, first of all, he ignored the sign, right? He didn't care that it was private property. He walked onto it anyway. And then he goes on to say that side was made for you and me. Okay, so what he's saying is that we shouldn't have all these private wealthy people who have divvied up the country and spread it amongst themselves. All this land should be for everyone, okay? It is a critique of America at the time, the capitalist system at the time. We do not sing it today, okay? We only sing the really patriotic parts. Now, in this version, he doesn't actually sing the other missing verse in this version, but this is the other missing verse. Okay, by the shadow of the steeple, I saw my people. By the relief office, I seen my people. As they stood there hungry, I stood there asking, is this land made for you and me? Isn't that fascinating? He is criticizing that there are so many people going hungry and so many people in poverty, and he ends the song on turning that phrase into a question. Is this land made for you and me? He's basically saying, right, Lynn? Okay. He's basically implying, right, that, maybe we are living in an illusion. We think that we we're represented in this government. We think this country is for Americans, but is it, or is it just for the wealthy, the landowners, and things like that? Okay, let's finish up the song. I don't think there's much left in the actual song here, but let's just hear the rest of it.
For you and me. When the sun comes shining, then I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving, and the dust clouds rolling. My voice was chanting as the fog was lifting. This land was made for you and me.
Yes, Mithril.
This land is your land, and this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land
was made for you and me. Okay, so I hope now that you've heard what the original
edit, and share your content.
I hope that now that you've heard what the original lyrics of that song are, whenever you hear that song, you will remember that, okay? He is the epitome of being an American, okay? And he was being critical of the government, critical of our economy, mixed with a sense of patriotism about the United States, but feeling that the people should have more say there, okay? So whenever you hear that song and you hear people sing it in a patriotic way, remember it was written by a socialist. All right, I think I've emphasized this point enough, right? Okay, guys. Last song I'm going to play for you today is another song by Woody Guthrie. This song is called Lindbergh, okay? And you have to understand, and this might become as a shock to you, okay? There was a movement there was a movement at this time to basically avoid going to war against the fascists, against Hitler and things like that. And there were a lot of fascists actually in the United States who didn't like Jewish people. There were several fascist groups, the German American Bund, the Silver Shirts, etc. One of these people that was extremely pro-Hitler, pro-fascist was Charles Lindbergh. Okay, and I'm sure you may have all have heard of Charles Lindbergh. Okay. And Woody Guthrie was disgusted by this. And by the way, these pro-fascist people, does anyone know what their slogan was? Does anyone know what their slogan was? I will tell you what it was if anyone doesn't know. Their slogan was America First. America First. Interesting, right? Interesting, because who else has the slogan of America First? I think we all know, right? We all know who has that slogan. The Orange Mussolini, the Mango Mussolini and his cronies love that phrase. The America First phrase. Okay? All right. So let us now go on to yes, there is, Sir Bartholomew. Yeah, there is a TV show, I can't remember what it's called, that is about Lindbergh theoretically becoming president, which would have been terrifying, okay? So, at the same time, when we listen to the song, a few other historical references I will point out as we go through it. But in this song, Woody Guthrie is criticizing the government for being pro-fascist. He's criticizing all the fascists inside the country, and criticizing the government's attempts to appease Hitler, okay? So let's listen to this now. Let's listen to this. So this is Mr. Lindbergh by Woody Guthrie. Let's go.
Mr. Charlie Lindbergh, he flew to old Berlin, got him a big iron cross, and he flew right back again to Washington. Washington. Mrs. Charlie Lindbergh, she come dressed in red, said I'd like to sleep in that pretty White House bed in Washington.
In Washington.
Lindy said to Annie, we'll get there by and by. We'll have to bed up with Wheeler, Clark, and I in Washington, Washington. Hitler wrote to Lindy, said, do your very worst. And this
Lindy started an outfit, what he called America First, in Washington.
All
Around the country, Lindbergh he did fly.
Gasoline was paid for by Hoover, Clark, and I
In Washington, in Washington. Lindsay said to Hoover, we'll do the same as France. Make a deal with Hitler, and then we'll get our chance in Washington, in Washington.
Then they had a meeting, and all the firsters come on a walk, and they come on a run in Washington.
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 I'm going to pause it there. He says in this line, okay, then they had a meeting, and all the firsters, so the America Firsters, kind of like modern day MAGA, they had a meeting, and all the firsters come on a walk, and they come on a run in Washington. So he's saying that the government's being taken over by these right-wingers, all right? Now, in this next part, you'll hear him mention someone named Father Coughlin. Father Coughlin was a very far-right, fascist, anti-Semite on the radio. He's kind of like a Rush Limbaugh type character, and he was a Catholic priest, and he was very pro-Hitler, very anti-Jew, and he was very popular at the time. Okay, and you're going to see here what he says about Father Coughlin. Okay, so let's listen to this part now.
Yonder comes Father Coughlin wearing a silver chain, cast on his stomach and Hitler on the brain in Washington.
In Washington. So this is what he just said. Yonder comes Father Coughlin wearing the silver chain, gas on his stomach and Hitler on the brain in Washington. In Washington. Now, this next lyric, he's going to criticize people who stay in the center while fascists are taking over. Okay, he says, you'll hear what he says. He mentions sitting and straddling a fence. Sitting and straddling a fence, okay, which is criticizing people standing in the center. So let's listen.
Mr. John L. Lewis
would sit and straddle a fence, signed with Lindbergh, and we ain't seen her since in Washington. Washington.
Hitler said to Lindy,
stall him if you can.
Going to bomb Pearl Harbor with
the help of old Japan in Washington. In Washington.
Then on a December
So in this part, folks, I know I'm pausing this a lot because I know it might be hard to hear what he's saying. Hitler said to Lindy, stall him if you all you can. So he's basically saying that those right-wingers in Washington are listening to Hitler and trying to stall the people in Washington from doing anything. And they should stall the government until Japan bombs Pearl Harbor, okay? Then this next part, you're going to hear him talk about the bombing of Pearl Harbor.
Morning, the bombs come from Japan.
Down Wake Island and Pearl Harbor, kill 1,500 men in Washington. In Washington.
Now Lindy tried to join the army, but they wouldn't let him in.
Afraid he sell to Hitler a few more million men in Washington. Okay, last pause I'm going to do, and then, well, the last pause, and then I'll finish the song. This last part here, you're about to hear. I'm going to tell you people, if Hitler's going to be beat, the common working people has to take the seat in Washington. In Washington. Okay. Okay. So you see what he's saying there, right? We, the people, have to take back control of the government if we're going to defeat the fascists. This last line here, and again, this will be the last time I pause it. And I'm going to tell you workers, before you cash in your checks, they say America first, but they mean America next in Washington. Oh my God, does that ring true today, folks? They say America first, but they really mean America next, if not last, okay? So let's hear those last two lyrics.
So I'm going to tell you people, if Hitler's going to be beat, common working people has got to take the seat in Washington.
Yeah, right, Homina. Right, Mithril.
And I'm gonna tell you
You workers, before you cash your checks, they say America first, but they mean America next. In Washington. Okay, folks, and there we go. That was Woody Guthrie, Lindsay Lindbergh, okay, or Charles Lindbergh. Now I'm gonna let me get my face back up here. I wanted to see what we got. Looks like we got some few good chats here. There we go. Okay, so again, folks, if we get 5 super chats, I'll put on the Jester hat. If we don't, though, it's not the end of the world. Let me take a look here in chat. Let's see what we got. All right. Okay. Okay, what do we got here? We got Mithril. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm skipping a few. Folk music is meant to be sung, not listened to. 100% Mithril. 100%. That's why I almost can't help but sing these songs. These songs are meant to be sort of remembered and then sung in groups. Okay, I highly recommend everyone look up both Leadbelly and Woody Guthrie and just listen to their songs. I would even say memorize them because I think every American should memorize them, but I know that's a bit authoritarian to me. Thank you, Mithra. I don't know. I think my singing is pretty bad, but I just can't help but sing when I hear these songs. Yeah, you're right, Long Beach Dragon. You're right, Long Beach Dragon. Those 2 extra verses. I love this riff, right, Toya? Yeah, Winterlinde said that's where I know the name from. I saw it in my Guitar for Beginners book, and yeah, a lot of like beginning guitar books. This is they play the non-controversial version. It's a pretty simple song to play on the guitar. It's sort of a beginner song. Yeah, right, Macy. Switching perspective. Yep, Macy. Okay. Yeah, okay, Macy. Oh my God, you're on fire, Macy. Yes, the private sector doesn't view the boundaries respecting public properties. Yeah, yep, absolutely. That's another way to look at it, Macy. There are multiple ways to interpret that line. That is one of the ways. Is that the private property is always infringing upon public property. Okay, and they are. Mithril, we need this song in England right now, despite right to roam laws. Less than 10% accessible. I hold the Kindermass trespass and the diggers close to my anarchist heart. Mithril, comrade, now would you tell me, Mithril, the diggers and the Kindermass trespasses? I know there have been anarchists that have taken over buildings in England, London, and sort of collectivized them. Is that what you're referring to? I'm not specifically sure of those 2 groups, but I've watched some interesting stuff about that. I love that idea, taking over unused properties from the wealthy. It's like, why not, right? Well, they're not using them. So, okay. Okay, please do, Lynn. Be right back. Got to record a verse of it I just wrote and post it. Please do. We're all going to die anyways, Macy. Okay, Sir Bartholomew, is there? Yes, there is. That's right. It's called the Plot Against America. That's the name of that show. Okay, hey, chat. Happy time zone. Welcome, Rain. Hamina's here. Hello, Hamina. Okay. Hello, Drusilla. Welcome back. Yeah, Hamina, I'm going to try and do some more music history stuff because I want to inspire people to create art of their own that is resisting fascism. There is some of it out there. I wish we could see more of it. Thank you, Mithril. Yeah, Mithril, thank you for standing up for me. Okay, it's not hard, but the education demands interruptions. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Sir Bartholomew, thank you so much for that donation. Thank you for the super chat, Sir Bartholomew. You know what? Just for that, Sir Bartholomew, let me just put on the Jester hat. I feel like that's a large enough of a donation that I should put on the Jester hat. So I'll put on the Jester hat for that donation, and then we'll set a new one for the caller. Okay? Thank you, as always, Sir Bartholomew. Always, though, of course, Sir Bartholomew, please take care of yourself first. I feel bad. I know. I really thank you, though. Okay. That's right, Mithril. My mistake. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll just keep the goal for the caller. That's a good call, Macy. So we only need 4 more, and I'll put on the caller. Thank you again, Sir Bartholomew, for your generous contributions there. Okay. All right. Well, there we go. Now I feel better. Okay. As always, feel much better. Okay, let's do this. All right. And by the way, folks, I know there are a few artists here in chat. I happen to know Hamina, for example, is an artist. I think Mithril is somewhat of an artist, or at least knows a lot about it. Tiago, when he's around, is an artist. If anyone else here is an artist, I hope you can take some inspiration from these sort of things. You don't have to, obviously. Everyone does their own kind of art, but we need some good anti-fascist art, music, etc. No, so Long Beach Dragon. This is actually a good question. Long Beach Dragon says, yeah, Hamina. Yes, first of all, I'll get back to that Long Beach Dragon. Yes, Hamina. Isn't it true that most Western music and rock and roll is attributed to the song slaves would sing, bringing over? Yes, yes. A lot of the origin of rock and roll is attributed to Black Americans, and some of their the music that came from Africa. I highly recommend everyone watch the movie. What is it called? It's the horror movie with vampires. Oh my God, I can't. Sinners. I think it's called Sinners. Watch Sinners. There is a scene in there that captures this beautifully. I highly recommend everyone watch Sinners. Thank you. Yes, Meowzord. Everyone should watch Sinners. Brilliant movie. Really kind of shows. I won't give any spoilers, Macy, but it really shows the link between modern day music and African Americans. Okay. All right, it is. It's an amazing movie. Okay, so Mithril, the Diggers were a group in the. Oh, you know what? You're right, Mithril. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Who tried to set up a commune? It was smashed by the landlords. Of course it was. Of course it was. Yeah, there's a lot of badass things like that from Britain. Okay. Okay, Long Beach Dragon, have we abandoned the attempt not to vape? So let me show you something, folks. I don't know if you can see the screen of my vape here, but it is on the last notch of having oil left in it. And I am basically just smoking vapors now. Like there's not much left in it. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to try and stop vaping. I'm going to go cold turkey. So I'm almost done with this one. It's like I probably only have 2 or 3 puffs left. And then once it's gone, I'm hoping that I can use my lack of motivation to go get another one by focusing on the channel to stop vaping. Okay. It's just a method I'm trying. We will see if it works. So yeah, I'm almost done smoking for good. Hopefully we'll see. Addiction is a bitch. Okay. Oh, it'd be easy if it tasted more harsh because it's almost empty. Okay. All right. Sir Bartholomew. Oh, I know Sir Bartholomew. A lot of very hot people in that movie. Okay, bring a tissue or something. Not for crying, by the way. Anyway, okay, but anyway, yeah. Okay, it's a very good movie. Okay, I can tell, Mithril, you're very good with words. Okay, okay, guys. So that was that was just I want you to remember that there is a tradition in the United States of resisting fascism through music, art, and things like that. Okay. Right, Sir Bartholomew. You're gonna have the I know. You're right. What are the DTs? I'm assuming that is those are like that you mean like withdrawal from it. I am. I'm kind of expecting it. But I have been doing a bit less recently, so I know I'm probably gonna hit a wall, but I will see what happens. I'm gonna try my best here. I do talk fast. Okay, Len, you're right. Okay. All right, guys. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna react to some of the things on the Discord server. And if we get 4 more super chats, I'll put on the Jester caller. For those that are watching and aren't in chat, if you subscribe to the channel, you'll be able to chat in 5 minutes. Okay, just a little bit of a time limit there, just to make sure we don't get any bots in here. Also, if you're interested in supporting the channel for as little as 99 cents per month, you can become a member and help me support what I do here. I have I think 30 or some members so far, and you can also support me on Patreon for $5 a month. You can help support the channel, help me upgrade my equipment, and help me keep doing what I'm doing. So that'd be very nice. I'm currently looking for other jobs, but I'm very close to being able to do this full time. And I would like to be able to stop looking for jobs so that I can do this full time. But if not, it's not the end of the world. So yes, would love anyone who would like to support. Please do. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, Lynn. Let's smoke some vapors. I know, Mithril, I get it. I get it. It's not fun being broke and then be having an addiction like this, okay? Okay. Macy, I can go a day without soda, coffee, no problem, but then I wonder why I have a headache. Oh, I know. The caffeine headaches are horrific, okay? All right, guys. So let me look into Discord here. I'll see what I'm going to react to. I saw a lot of great reactions or things to react to. Let's see here. Let's see what we got. In Washington. Okay. All right, reactions. There we go. Okay, let's take a look here. I'm going to go back up here to the top and see what we got. We got a lot of good shorts, so we'll do a few shorts here. Ooh, I really want to watch that one. Is Henry G here? Vintage Ninja? Is Henry G here? I don't think Henry G is here. Okay. Ooh, you know what? I like the one Meowzord posted. Let's do that first. This is Andrew Callahan. Let me see what we what it is. How long? Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, so we're going to do this one. This one is sent to us by Meowzord. Thank you again, Meowzord. Meowzord has been a great help to the channel in many ways. Okay. All right, guys. So this one, and then I'll do some of the short ones, and then perhaps another bit of a long one. Okay. Oh, is that so, Alan? Because thank you. That makes me feel better about it. Alan says you've grown insanely fast considering the short time your channel has been active. You're way ahead of schedule. Is that so? Okay, that makes me happy to hear. I am to almost 7,000 subscribers. I'm getting there. I'm like maybe 100 away from having 7,000 subscribers. I have quite a few members. So, but yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I wasn't sure. I didn't really have a frame of reference for how successful the channel was. I can just see the revenue, and so I was just okay. That's fascinating. Thank you for telling me that, Alan. Thank you, Macy. Thank you. Okay, guys. So let's watch this. This is from Andrew Callahan. I love Andrew Callahan. Yeah, I know there was some drama around him, but there's a drama around everyone, it seems. Is that so, Long Beach Dragon? That's fantastic. Is that really? Most channels would only have 100 subscribers. Okay, well that's good news. Okay, that really helps my mood. Okay, that's fantastic. Because I am really loving doing this. I really am loving doing this. Okay. Okay, I'll look at that then. Agreed. I think we are in need of a proactive anti-fascist community to join. I agree. I totally agree. I'm not going to get cocky, Macy. Don't worry. I'm not going to be cocky. Trust me. As I was saying, I am looking for a full-time job right now because I do need to survive, etc. So I'm not overly cocky, but don't worry, Macy. I'll be genuine. I think, well, hopefully by now you all know I'm pretty genuine. Okay, at least okay. That sounds cocky when I say that, but yeah. Okay. All right, guys. So let's go on to this video here. This is called "Inside Trump's Military Takeover of DC." I have not seen this. I'm very happy. I love Andrew Callahan stuff. So let's see what we got here. Let me know, folks, if it's too loud, not loud enough. Just let me know in chat. I can change the settings around. Yep. Oh, you know what? I didn't put up the screen. I'll put up the screen here so you guys can see the video. That would be a good idea. There we go. Okay, so again, we'll keep going. Keep going. Here we go.
The thousands of FBI agents that were tasked to flag and then redact his names in the 100,000 pages of files.
Need audio? Okay, let me fix the audio then. I was worried that might happen. Audio displaying. Okay, there. Audio output capture. There we go. All right, that should do it, folks. Let's see if this works.
I think I'm concerned about that. And what do you?
I'll start it over.
Yo, Channel 5, what the fuck? Holy shit!
What up, man?
Hey, man.
How's it going? So, what do you think about the relationship between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein? What do you think's going on there?
I mean, they were best friends throughout the 90s. You know, I think he did some dirty stuff with Epstein. I mean, I think it's pretty common sense. I think I'm concerned about the thousands of FBI agents that were tasked to flag and then redact his names in the 100,000.
Yeah, so this is a point that I still don't blows my mind. There were thousands of victims in the Epstein files. So what were they victimized by a ghost? Like apparently there's tens of thousands of hours of footage. Who did the victimizing? And I think we all know that's probably why the files are being hidden. Because I have a feeling there's a lot of very powerful people in those files. And there's probably videos too.
Pages of files. I think I'm concerned about that.
And what do you think Trump's motivation would be to suppress that information from getting out there?
Because he's a pedophile. I'm not saying for sure, but this whole DC National Guard thing, it might be a ploy to distract from the files. It really could be.
800 more National Guard.
I'm going to speed it up a little bit here so we can have more time to watch some other stuff too. Hopefully this will be good.
Members deployed to D.C. as part of the federal takeover.
I mean, he's pretending our city has a high crime rate.
Right,
Actually,
Macy?
the crime rate has decreased, and this is a really cool, wonderful city that's safe to be in. And he's just using us as a distraction against his low poll numbers, against the Epstein case, where he's obviously, there's something he's really concerned about in there. I don't know who he's protecting, himself or other rich pedophiles or what he's doing, but he's obviously very concerned about that, wants to change the subject.
I don't think we know for sure, but I mean, just release the files. Like, where's the files, Don? That's what my sign says, so.
Yo, what up, people? You know what time it is. We're at the White House in Washington, D.C. in the direct aftermath of Trump's announcement that he was deploying the National Guard to deal with the skyrocketing crime rate here in the District of Columbia. I know what you're thinking. Hasn't D.C. had the lowest crime rate in the past 6 years as a result of progressive policy? Shut up, homie. Big Balls almost got his life taken by a couple delinquents who went in his car.
Cops say two 15-year-olds beat up Big Balls.
He was with his girl, and they tried to take his shit. He hopped out, got busy, got bloodied.
Edward ran to defend her and was severely beaten to the point of concussion.
Posted the picture online, and Donald was not fucking with that.
Somebody from...
Remember I said, folks, fascism is all about inside groups and outside groups. If you're part of the administration, if you're one of the loyalists, you are an inside group. They will call hell down upon anyone who hurts someone from the in-group. Okay.
Doge was very badly hurt last night. You saw that. And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control. In addition, deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety.
They supposedly were going to clear all the homeless people. Don't know if you can tell, that's a blue tarp. It's the international flag of homelessness. And yeah, it looks just about the same as it always is. Washington, D.C., man, nation's capital. We're going to go talk to some people and figure out what the...
I don't know. Okay, I like Andrew Callahan, but he could have toned that better. Like, the guy's just trying to live. Like, he made it sound like, oh, well, look, Trump didn't do what he said he would do. Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't think Trump should do what he said he would do in that case.
What the hell's going on?
Welcome to the most absurd place maybe on the planet. We're in front of the White House right now.
What you doing out here, player?
Dude, I'm protesting. Look at my sign. Look at my sign.
That's why I'm tripping out, because I read online the National Guard was being deployed to deal with the...
What does he say here on the sign? Free Palestine, end the genocide, based. No troops in D.C. This is fascism, based. What's in the Epstein files, Don? Based. ICE are coward thugs. Yep. I love this guy.
DC crime problem, and we're here at the White House, and there's nobody here. There's no crime, but also no National Guardsmen.
No, and honestly, I took the Metro in. It's business as usual so far. I'm concerned because they're talking about going to New York and doing this. They're talking about going to Chicago. Charlie Kirk made some stupid TikTok talking about that.
We got to go
new?
hard. We got to go big league. We're talking National Guard, tanks, every street you need military.
I think they might expand this. This is a way to expand power and control.
It seems like that was like he was just waiting for an excuse to enact some type of martial law. Like,
it's confusing, right? Did he militarize the city? There's like rumors about tanks on the city outskirts. So
there's no National Guard right here, but I don't know, Andrew.
Do you think they're doing that on purpose? They're not putting the National Guards near some of the landmarks so that it doesn't appear bad, like it doesn't appear militarized? That's engaging in the American tradition of eating a hot dog here. They are so pathetic. Okay.
There might be National Guard other parts of the city. I'm not everywhere at once here.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen any, but in some neighborhoods there were, I forget if they were FBI or what, going through at night. I mean, it's kind of happening under the cover of darkness, and it tends to be neighborhoods that are less affluent.
I don't think the National Guard is here. I think federal agents are here, because what's going on is they're going to like the heavy crime areas, and they're just like jumping out in unmarked vehicles. Like they might be like, it's a regular car with like regular local tags. You know what I'm saying? They're hopping out of.
Remember the Marxist interpretation of fascism. It's an attempt to suppress the working class in a time of economic distress to prevent the working class from engaging in left-wing political activity. And I mean, there's also racism and such going on here, where these guards are only going into low-income neighborhoods and such, and kind of staying away from the wealthier parts, the wealthier, wider parts of the city. I think we could all have guessed that.
Like regular random Honda Accords and Honda Civics and Hondas and Fords and all, not even police type of cars.
Yeah. Where have you read that at?
I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen it. Yeah, it's happening. On the main roads in D.C., the main avenues, the main high crime areas, the federal agents are literally pulling up, and they're just there. Their presence is there.
So they're pulling up, like, what are some high crime areas where we might be able to find them?
Georgia Avenue, anywhere from Howard University on up to like New Hampshire. Benning Road, anywhere from Minnesota all the way down to like Ames.
Are they arresting people, or are they just like making their presence known?
They're arresting. It's more so like they're taking probable cause to be able to harass you. It's kind of like marketing or like vending. You know what I'm saying? Like the amount of people, it's a numbers game. So the more people out.
Again, folks, I would bet anyone here $50 that they're mainly harassing people who are not white. They're probably mainly harassing people of color. That, I mean, every law enforcement stat shows that happens in normal times, and I bet it's been supercharged in these times, not to mention the socioeconomic differences due to the history of racial inequality and racial oppression.
Pull over or mess with, I'm going to find something. The more customers I proposition, I'm going to sell something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's like stop and frisk.
Something like that. Because I got pulled over 3 times in 3 different parts of the city since that happened.
I wonder why.
I haven't been pulled over
because
in years.
As far as DC goes,
he
what
isn't
do you think
white.
kind of gave him the incentive to want to do something like this or make this show of force in the media?
I mean, the fact that DC doesn't have statehood and we don't have representation is a big deal. Like, we need statehood. We need protections. This isn't the first time that DC's been misused this way.
Long Beach Dragon, sorry. There's a lot of good chats here, folk. I'm not reading all of them out loud. I'll read them all afterwards, but Long Beach Dragon made a great point here. Consider the demographics of DC alone. Yes. Okay. I mean, the cities he keeps talking about wanting to go after are very much so have high percentages of people of color, and there is a link between poverty also and crime, because which makes sense, right? If you are poor, you're more desperate a lot of the time. And that's not to say poor people are criminals. Please do not get me wrong in saying that. But this is like, and also, by the way, wealthier people also commit lots of crime, but it just doesn't get addressed. But anyway, these cities he's going after, well, you all see what I'm saying here.
Republican presidents will often try to show dominance over DC. It has a large black and brown population, and so there's a racist element to it. And DC residents pay taxes. They don't have senators. They don't have voting House of Rep. They need those things.
It falls into place with what he had said when he first came in about how he's going to beautify and fix the city up and clean the city up. So that all falls in line with what he said he was going to do. So, this is just an example of what he said he was going to do in the beginning.
First of all, he and his hench people in Congress tried to pull appropriated funds for the district, which was supposed to go and fund for keeping it clean and beautiful, and keeping crime down and policing. And first he pulled it, and now he's saying, well, you're not doing it.
Do you grow up around here?
I'm from like the northwest, the upper part of the city.
So that area is where Big Balls from Doge got carjacked, right?
Yeah, up in northwest. Yeah, exactly. That's the guy. Yeah, big. I don't know his name, but I know it's a Doge associate. That guy.
And he really fought back though.
Thank you, Sir Bartholomew, for the super chat. Really. Again, thank you again. Sir Bartholomew, going to be hearing something like this soon. In order to ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the First Galactic Empire. Yeah, exactly. For a safe and secure society, as Palpatine said. 100%. I mean, by the way, Spielberg, when he made the Star Wars, Spielberg being Jewish, a lot of the references in there are to elements of Nazism, the stormtroopers, okay? That is literally the SA, the Sturmabteilung, which the Nazi SA, which were called stormtroopers. The Fall of a Republic. Yes, Sir Bartholomew, I think you are a prophet. Okay? Absolutely, okay? I hope I did that. I hope I did that reference well, Sir Bartholomew. Please judge me harshly if you intend to. Okay.
Oh, I don't know. I know he was.
Did you see the picture of him?
Yeah, he was bloody. He was bloody. Yeah, all I seen was the image, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, heads are gonna roll. It's a younger Caucasian guy, bloody. Said some black guys robbed him, carjacked him. Well, he's affiliated with Donald Trump. Oh yeah, heads are gonna roll.
So you knew right away something was gonna happen.
Yeah.
But to clarify, there is no National Guard here.
I don't think so.
Do you think there could be a distraction agenda at play here?
I think the majority of Americans see it's obvious that there's a distraction agenda, as you said, at play here. In the last 2 weeks, I've seen them burst more media, more news bursts, clickbait things into the media than I saw in the previous 4 years of his administration and in the previous year of this current administration.
I'm sorry. Did I say Spielberg? My apologies. You're right, Long Beach Dragon. George Lucas. Am I getting this mixed up? I thought is George Lucas Jewish? I could be wrong. I apologize. But regardless, he did know what he was referring to.
I think it's all kind of a concerted effort to get the public to stop talking about their lack of willingness to release the Epstein files.
Yeah, and then they're trying to say it's not important. And even if he wasn't on the Epstein files, why was there no information released about any of the hundreds or maybe thousands of names who were in the Epstein files?
Possibly blackmail networks.
Maybe.
Over 1,000 girls were sex trafficked, and those were real people and real lives that were damaged. I mean, Virginia Giuffre, she killed herself recently. Yeah. We don't want to forget those victims. So there are rich people who got away with trafficking these girls.
Yeah. Brazil,
and
this
is something that needs to come out, and our president has something to do with it. We don't know what. We don't know why he's covering up, but this is something that we need to be talking about.
Yeah, it's possible that he could be, have some sort of blackmail arrangement with another person who's leveraging a different kind of pressure.
Yeah, we don't know. That's why we need to know more.
What do you think is the biggest problems in D.C. that need fixing?
Mental health. They need to have more services and more programs to be more proactive, and resources that are more proactive than it being more reactive. The once it's a problem and somebody's like,
does this guy have like a PhD in sociology? He knows what the hell he's talking about. Okay, yeah, that's how you solve these issues with things like crime, poverty. You need big structural changes that help that proactively deal with the problem first. Okay, and so it's like having a leaky faucet. And if you and all you do is you clean up the water after the leak, you don't fix the leak. Okay, so if you really want to help people improve their lives,
has a record or is convicted of something or just anything, and then they're trying to be like, oh, let's divert, let's help this person, like see if they have if we could implement something to try to catch it before it even happens.
So that means for people who maybe are on the streets or people who have like problems at home who are living in certain neighborhoods?
Exactly. Not even just certain neighborhoods. You could live in an upper class neighborhood but just have problems at home, and you just displacing like whatever issues you have at home out into the street, and you can become a problem in society.
A lot of kids grow up hungry and don't have parents at home.
In a city like ours, where we have a really high rate of exposure to violence, where we have a pretty significant incidence rate of PTSD, there simply there's a need for programming outside of what schools can reasonably be expected to provide.
So you mean putting more funding toward mental health people who can do checkups on civilians and see the warning signs?
As Joshua was saying?
Yeah, because that's what a lot of the violence is stemming from.
Yeah. Do you mean like inner city violence, or do you mean like sporadic acts of like terroristic violence?
No, inner city violence, inner city, isolated incidents, inner city.
So like poverty violence?
Poverty, yeah, and mental health plays a large.
A lot of that mental health treatment issue, it also goes back to poverty because, as I have said time and time again, our healthcare system is trash. It's absolute trash. There are not enough of treatment of options available for people who live in poverty, who have mental health issues. There's lots of other issues with treating mental health. We need to deal with that. And I think Joshua mentioned that.
Factor in it.
Tonight, new information from the White House on the operation so far. 38 firearms have been seized, and just last night, 52 arrests were made. White House officials say 28 of those 52 arrests were immigration related.
All right, if you're watching this right now, I got some good news. We are going on tour. That's right, a 26-city national tour called the Channel 5 Carnival. It's going to be a night to remember for the rest of your life. A roving adventure circus coming to 26 cities in the U.S.
Okay, sorry, is this the end of it? Okay, we're almost to the end. I'm just going to skip the ad here.
Hell you do, you can become famous and have a fantastic evening at Channel 5 Carnival, and if you win, you get a free prize. Additionally, I'm going to be screening 3 secret documentaries. But if you've been to Channel 5 Live, you kind of know what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Andrew Callahan.
Anyways, if you want to buy tickets to Channel 5 Carnival, you can go to www.channel5.news/pages/carnival, and you're going to see ticket links right there for a variety of shows. I'm talking Orlando. I'm talking Durham, North Carolina. I'm talking about New Orleans. I'm talking about a lot of other places. For real, it's going to be sick. So see you guys on tour, hopefully.
Oh, the whole thing is an ad. Okay, well, then we'll stop there. That was a great video. Thank you, Meowzord, for sharing that with us. There's some great chats here I didn't read. Let me just go back here and read them. Joshua Troop, I'm just wondering how this looks to the rest of the U.S. citizens who are not tuned in with politics. Joshua, I'm afraid to answer that question. I know a lot of them are probably cheering it on, let's be honest, but a lot of the other ones are horrified. I know a lot of the folks here in chat from America who aren't from those places are horrified. But when it comes to fascists, they look at this stuff and it brings them great joy and it makes them feel empowered. So that's a scary thought. Very scary thought. Alan W., I caught some of the CNN coverage of the shooting this morning, and the consensus wasn't gun control. It was that we needed to further. Of course, Alan. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my mind, Alan. I think you know I'm going to lose my mind. Yeah, yeah. Okay, of course. Thoughts and prayers. The issue isn't guns. We just need a more authoritarian police force. Yeah, that's the classic refrain. Let's arm teachers. Let's flood guns into the schools to stop the gun violence. Okay. Yeah, the cold fascist aesthetic, 100% Meowsord. Yeah, of course we can't blame the one obvious thing, Mithril. You know, that would be competent and rational. That's not what fascists do, of course, right? You can't have any competence or rationality there. Okay, Alan W., what the reason why your gun violence rates are insanely lower than ours can't possibly be because of much stricter gun laws. Honestly, Alan, though, okay, I know you're not talking to me there, but I think that is part of it. I think there's a mix of reasons for this. I think gun laws is one of them. There's a lot of other stuff too. But yeah. Deport Meows or deport the faucet. Yeah, that seems to be the refrain. If you have a problem, just deport it, okay? Even if it's not linked to that thing that's being deported. Long Beach Dragon, 28 of the 52 were immigrants because they were specifically looking for people that are more likely to be immigrants. So racial profiling, probably. Yeah, I'm guessing that would be what they were doing. Drusilla, absolutely. If parents got more time with their kids, some mental health issues wouldn't be as bad. 100%. This is why we need more paid time off. We need more vacation time. We need to work less days of the week. As I've said time and time again, a lot of these issues would be, I mean, think of all the people who have anxiety and depression and stuff. A lot of those issues would be reduced if they just had more time off and they weren't dying, working their asses off every single day without rest. I mean, it's like a natural thing you can expect. You're going to have destroyed people's mental health. See here, Macy. Have you seen We Need to Talk About Kevin? Yes, Macy. That is a very disturbing movie, but I recommend everyone watch it. Very disturbing movie. Alan W., I was being sarcastic. LOL. It's not the Oh, I'm sorry, Alan W. Forgive me. You know, okay, I'm on edge. Okay, I apologize. Okay, I was being sarcastic. Okay, it's not the coincidence that all these countries with stricter gun laws have much lower rates of gun violence. Exactly. Okay, sorry about that, Alan. Okay. Yeah, exactly. They don't have the time and resources to get help, Toya. And I mean, it is expensive to get mental health treatment. Yeah, typically there are two different things you need to do. You need medication and you need therapy. Both of those things are expensive and take a lot of time. You have to take off time from work. And if you're in a mental health crisis and you have to be hospitalized, there are very few open mental health hospital beds, and they're extremely expensive, and insurance doesn't often pay for them. It is an ongoing disaster, our mental health system. As a matter of fact, the largest mental health facility in the country is the Los Angeles County Jail. I'm not even joking. They have more beds there for people with mental health issues than most hospitals do. Now, that may have changed from the last time I looked at the stats, but that's a problem. If you're doing criminalization of things and you're linking it with mental health, that is not going to solve the problem. Okay. Okay. Joshua, I don't know. Yeah, a jail. I know, and to be honest though, Joshua, you don't quote me on that. I would need, because it may have changed since the last time I read about that. But the Los Angeles County Jail has the most beds for people with mental health conditions of any facility in the United States, as far as I know. Someone else, if you tell me if I'm wrong, I know that this was a while ago. It may have changed from then. Yeah. Okay, and that's disturbing. It's a very disturbing thought. Okay, what else we got here? Turf. Oh God, yeah, turfs. Don't even get me started on turf Mithril. I was going to watch it, but Lionel shit. Yeah, I get that. A jail. Yes, Joshua. Okay, Alan W. 40% of our federal That's a good point. That's a good point, Long Beach Dragon. Okay, Alan W. 40% of our federal prison population is nonviolent drug offenses, which is immoral, deeply immoral, and needs to be changed. And we could also add the other stat there, which is they're disproportionately black and brown people in these prisons, which, as I've said before, might be a continuation of that old system of slavery whereby you can imprison people and still make them slaves. Now, not directly like that anymore, but there is some historical precedent for that. Okay. Long Beach Dragon, I believe you're correct, but at the same time, the LA County jail system has more inmates than most states, right? Right. At the same, and that's why we need separate mental health facilities that are well staffed, have lots of beds, and provide services for free, because we're not going to solve the problem if we just keep doing what we're doing. Macy Schroeder, speaking of jail, Trump said jail for a year if someone burns a flag, but jail max is 364 days. 1 year would be prison. Yeah. Yep. Oh my God, Long Beach Dragon. That is. And Long Beach Dragon, I know there are issues going on right now in LA, like a lot of issues. Long Beach Dragon says, if I'm not mistaken, LA County jail system has 1,500 inmates. We got to do something. There's clearly something structural going on there and around the country, that there are so many inmates because we are criminalizing issues that need to be solved proactively. Okay. And honestly, folks, it leaves people in a bad situation in LA. It leaves people in a bad situation because, people are victim of crimes, and there's a lot of crime and stuff that goes on in LA. And that makes people immediately want to start locking people up, but that will never solve the problem. We need a long-term solution to that. That's crazy. You're right, Joshua. That is how you're supposed to respectfully retire the flag, is burn it. Okay. But alas, the Trump administration, well, I'm not even going to go into it. I think you all know what I'm going to say there. Okay, guys, let me find something else to react to here real fast. Go into the Discord. By the way, folks, if we get 3 more super chats, I will put on the Jester hat. I mean, the Jester collar. All right. I'm going to skip Vintage Ninja stuff because I don't think Vintage Ninja is here right now. And also skip Oz. I don't think Oz is here. Okay, let's watch. Is Alyssa here? Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to watch something Macy sent us until I find out that if someone is here or not. So this is just a short.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Okay, let's see. This says Iowa has stretched my Christian charity very, very, very thin. Let me make sure we got the sound going so that you all can hear it. Right. Nope, not that one. Here we go. All right. Okay, guys. So again, thank you, Macy, for sending us this to us. Okay, let's take a look here. Again, this is called Iowa has stretched my Christian charity very, very thin.
I've redone this about 3 times now.
This kind of looks like the first video I did on YouTube. If anyone wants to go back and look at it, don't go back and look at it. It's terrible, but not great quality. But hey, I mean, I'm not criticizing her, but
my neighbor kind of smoked it up in here yesterday, all day, all night. He's trying to get rid of me so he can do his drugs. And of course nobody is doing anything to him. I don't really think that Iowa's fighting drugs. I just don't think so. I think they're letting everybody do what they want. I don't really know. But seems like nobody's interested in anything with him. I don't know why.
Quick question is I'm guessing, is this marijuana? I'm guessing she's referring to marijuana. This is in Iowa, right? Is marijuana legal for recreational consumption in Iowa? I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Just an interesting thought. Is it meth? Okay, she's meth. Okay. Oh, yeah.
I just think this state is so corrupt. It just oozes corruption.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to go out in a little while. I was trying to get a little something in my stomach first. because I don't have a whole lot of money, and so I didn't want to buy something out. I'll be going pretty soon, but I'll go when I'm good and ready, not when his assholeness upstairs wants me to go. I'll tell you what, my Christian charity has been stretched very, very, very thin. If you didn't get that, it sure has. And I'm not passing the test.
You're right. They're
really
absolutely,
hard
Joshua.
when you have privacy needs and things. I mean, when you really have been through a lot and you just need your own space, you know, and you don't need anybody fucking.
Now, I don't know what she's about to say, but I do feel for her a lot, right? If you're stuck next to someone who is using drugs and they're not getting treatment, that's not only harmful to that person, it's harmful to the people around them, which is why we need better treatment for people who have drug addictions. And also, drug use can be linked to people who feel disenchanted from society and don't feel that, a lot of times drugs is a coping mechanism for a lot of stress in a person's life. So we need, again, serious structural reforms to help fix some of these things so that this little lady here doesn't have to deal with these sort of things on a daily basis, nor her neighbor, who's clearly has a disease, is addicted to meth.
You over in your own apartment, and you don't need any fucking spies, and you don't need any nosy busybodies that shouldn't be sticking their nose in your business. It's just really wears on you. Really wears on you really bad.
Yeah.
And so people ought to still have some privacy, but
yep.
Anyway, I've been thinking a lot about taking down this channel. Because I really don't
100%, Joshua.
I mean, yeah, I talk about different issues and things, but I really don't have much to talk about. And, my life could change. In fact, I'm trying to make it change, but...
And she also, because she has limited resources, she can't get herself out of this situation, because you noticed she said she's on limited income, she's low income, which, I mean, will cause problems for her mental health, okay? This is all these issues we've been talking about being shown here.
But I don't want some of the fuckers from here, excuse my language, following me. And, I need to start over. And I need a good start over. And I don't need anybody messing with me. I swear, I just feel like, I've been a good citizen all my life. I really have. And I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel targeted here. I just feel targeted every single day here. And I was doing pretty good at home yesterday.
Also, how many folks know people who have been stuck in a lease and living in that situation is extremely detrimental to them, but because of the lease, because of the difficulty of finding affordable housing, they're stuck living in that situation. This is another example of that. This lady shouldn't have to be she's an older lady. She needs to have her own place. She needs to be in a safe place. Okay. Winterlinda, you're speaking my language. Winterlinda says, but then the private prisons lose money. Exactly. And by the way, folks, remember, in America, we have private prisons that are profit-based, which is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And though, by the way, the people who own those prisons fund politicians. They donate to them, which certainly doesn't really give which, by the way, incentivizes more police force so that more people can be arrested to sent to these private prisons, and also de-incentivizes actually doing things that deal with the crime, because the more crime, the more people to send to the private prisons. Joshua says, I've also heard that it's cheaper to actually help people instead of just throwing them in jail or prison. Yes, Joshua, which might partially be because of those private prisons. We don't do that. There's a lot of other issues there, but you're absolutely right. Meowzord, even having time outside a full-time job is stressful. I work for myself and I have the privilege of going to a 1 p.m. appointment, right? Absolutely. Okay, guys, let's continue with what this lady says. Oh, great. Oh, my Alan, I love George Carlin. I'm glad you do too. As Alan says, as George Carlin said, nothing is done about the homeless because there's no money to be made off of them. Oh my God, you're so right. You're so right. You're so right, Alan.
But then, of course, he had to smoke it up as much as he could. Had the meth out last night because I could smell it. But nobody cares. Except me.
Oh.
I'm tired and fed up.
Oh, poor lady. Yeah, that is great. Thank you, Macy. That was great. We could allowed me to talk about a lot of different issues there.
Gives you the freedom to tell your story.
Okay.
With
all right, guys. Let me try and find something else to watch here. Toy says, I don't know if any of you know it, but Brazil has a free healthcare system called SU. It has a free healthcare system called SUS. It covers from clean water, distribution of vaccines to surgeries, and access to all medical specialties. Why don't we have that, folks? Why don't we have that, folks? I mean, that's crazy. That is crazy. We should have that, okay? And I'm not down talking Brazil, but America's the wealthiest country in human history, and we don't have that. Brazil, a much more civilized country than America, because they do at least give those things to their people. Again, don't believe in that word. I'm just using it to make a point. Okay. All right. Okay. And by the way, folks, also Brazil, they put in prison their leaders who attempt to overthrow a government. Bolsonaro is under house arrest because he did a January 6th type insurrection. I wish we could repeat that here. That is how democracy should work. Miro, AI also creating fake security footage of crimes. Is that true, Miro? I would have to look into that. That's actually, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure AI could do that. It does. It takes months to see a specialist in the USA, Macy. I know, and yet we feel lucky, and we keep blaming countries that have universal health care and being like, "Oh, well, you have to wait forever." No, you got to do that in America. You got to wait forever in America. If you go to an ER, you have to wait multiple hours. You have to wait days upon days, if not months, to see a specialist. Okay, guys, let me find one more to watch here. All right, let's see. Oh, okay. I like this one. The Good Liars. This is another one from Meowzord. Thank you, Meowzord. Let's take a look at this one. I'm going to see how long. Oh, this is good. This is relatively short. Let's watch this one. I love The Good Liars. Another good channel here. Let me make it work here. Right. Okay. So we'll watch this one. Thank you again, Meowzord. It's called Good Liars Respecting the Flag, because as we know, Trump just criminalized burning the flag, which is an act of free speech. Who the hell cares if someone wants to burn a flag? I don't give a shit. I'm sure many people at this point want to burn a flag. But regardless, let's see what this is about. Let me make sure I get my chat pulled up. Okay, let's go.
Respecting the flag. What thoughts go through your brain?
Get the hell out of here then. You don't like this country? Leave. Go somewhere else. There is nowhere else to go. It's going to be better than America.
All right, go. Get the hell out of here then. You don't love this country? Get out of here. Go.
Desecrating the flag. I'm sorry, is the flag like a magical object? Does it have magical powers? Did Tinkerbell sprinkle her dust on it? Like what? Who cares? Who cares if you burn the American flag? It is a symbol. Who cares? I just don't care.
The flag, like this was just a typical American flag with a couple of
oh my God, all those guns. Look at that. That very classic American, putting all those guns on an American flag. Okay, that mean, you know what? Maybe we should make that our national flag. It would be more representative of how things are now.
So tell me about
right. Welcome, Volatile. Yeah, right. You could just go.
About the shirt you've got on here.
It's one I found on the internet.
The flag is kind of in tatters and everything.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of over the Constitution and all that?
Yes.
Would you say you're strongly against desecrating the flag?
Extremely, yes. So
not your style.
No, not at all. I mean, unfortunately, they have the right.
Oh, Christ, Fox Emblem. So, folks, I'm going to pause this. Thank you, Fox Emblem, for the update. I got to be honest with you, folks. I have trouble reading about these mass shootings anymore. Okay, let's put it this way: they trigger me extremely. So I heard that there was another mass shooting at a school today or last night. And this is what Fox Emblem says. Bad news: the shooter in Minneapolis was a trans neo-Nazi. You know what justification will be used here. I think we all can guess. I suspect the Nazi part will be largely ignored and the trans part will be put on a pedestal and made to be horrific. This is not good. This is not good. This, folks, will be used as propaganda to further dehumanize trans people. I wish it would be used as propaganda to further dehumanize Nazis, but alas, we all know what's going to happen here. That is deeply disturbing. Jesus. Yeah. I thank you, Macy. 2 teens died, dozens injured at a Catholic school. Yeah. Yep. It's an everyday occurrence now, basically. I mean, we're not going to do anything about it. I mean, no one's going to do anything about it. It's going to be lots of thoughts and prayers being, posted on social media. But no one's going to do anything about the gun debate. No one's going to, we're okay with children being slaughtered in schools. We're okay with people being shot down in the streets. We're okay with people going into grocery stores with assault rifles. I just can't, I don't even know. There's nothing left to say on the issue. We all know how to solve this, but we're just in stalemate. No one wants to do anything about it. They were 8 and 10 years old. Oh my God. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? It's infuriating. I can't even, okay, but there's not a gun issue apparently. Everyone needs assault rifles and RPGs and whatever else. Of course, Joshua, they never talk about these issues. Never. The NRA massively funds many people in Congress because a lot of their top people work for the gun industry. So they're liable to make lots and lots of profits off of everyone owning guns and limiting gun laws as much as possible. And as I've said before, our lack of gun regulation is not only a problem here, it's a problem in Mexico, it's a problem in Canada. American guns go everywhere and cause problems everywhere. It's like a virus. But alas, we're not going to do anything. And what the fuck are we going to do? Probably nothing. Yeah, exactly, Volatile. You know what? I did hear one thing about this shooting, Volatile. These children, my father was telling me this when he called me this morning. These children were actually in mass praying before the school year and like a beginning of the school year mass when this happened. So if we think thoughts and prayers will solve that, these children were literally praying as these bullets came flying into their church and killed them. Okay, so all right. Let's continue with the video.
But I would never do that to a flag. So, but
if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. No early exits, no nothing. What it does is incite to riot. I hope they use that language, by the way.
Yep. Alan, sorry, folks. Alan makes a beautiful point here. Alan W., we traded weapons to the cartels, and Trump now wants to go to war with said cartels that we helped fund. Sound familiar? The Taliban. This is one of the follies of empire, folks. You give weapons to people, or you allow people to get weapons, and those weapons will eventually be turned on you, or you'll fight those people with those weapons. The same thing happened with the Taliban in Afghanistan. We funded the Mujahideen, gave them tons of weapons. We left, and the Taliban got those weapons, and then we had to fight them again later. It is dumb. It is dumb and obvious that this happens. Every empire in history has had this problem. The British Empire had this problem. The Roman Empire had this problem. We keep doing the exact same things, and likely will never change. I don't mean to sound a doomer there, but the gun conversation has gone into the background. It always does. We are numb to it, and there's right wingers in power. Nothing will change. I don't even. It is disgusting. Okay.
Incite to riot.
Rioters at the Capitol attacking a D.C. police officer. It shows these terrorists dragging the officer down the stairs, beating and stomping and smashing him with a pole flying the American flag.
Glad he made it in office. I think he was elected in 2020. I don't know what happened there. Bunch of mumbo jumbo with the election.
And what did you think about the mumbo jumbo that
brainwashed
happened on January 6th at the Capitol?
So on my truck, I had Free the Patriots on my truck when I come out here.
Absolutely, Joshua.
Because I believe that they were wrongfully persecuted.
Wrongfully
were you
persecuted.
Happy when Donald Trump pardoned all the people who were,
yes, very.
Even the violent offenders?
Yes.
Jesus. Oh no. Oh no.
Keep
Okay.
It flying. Keep it flying.
Yeah, Confederate flag. It makes me sick whenever I see this flag. Representative of a white supremacist society in the South that was openly white supremacist. They said that the reason that they were fighting against the United States was because they wanted to maintain slavery and white supremacy in the South. There's no states' rights issues there. That was just a justification used to get poor white people on their side to fight for them. And by the way, those people were traitors. They literally went to war against the United States, the government of the United States. People never frame it that way. And I love how all these super hyper patriotic people wear the flag of a group of traitors, and then claim that it expresses some deep-held American value of what? White supremacy? I can't. I just, okay. Yep, Krista. Welcome back, Krista. Yep, once again, prioritizing profit. Yeah, and they lost. They're losers. Confederates are losers. You lost. Losers. It drives me insane. They're losers. They lost, and all these conservatives who are always about winning. Like I don't. The mental disconnect for me blows my mind. Okay, okay. But by the way, it's not a coincidence that the Ku Klux Klan uses the Confederate flag as their symbol.
And why do you want to keep it flying?
Why would anybody want to erase our heritage?
Well, some people would say that flag symbolizes racism. It symbolizes slavery, and they might have some valid points there.
That's their opinion. They're welcome to their opinion if they want it.
Are you pro-slavery or against slavery?
I have no comment. But thank you for the interview.
Okay, folks, easy answer to that question. There's an easy answer to that question. No, I am not pro-slavery. If you have to say I'm not going to answer that question, we already have a problem. Oh my God. I'm going to lose. Okay. Jesus Christ, these people, I don't, yeah, Joshua, I'm glad to hear that. Your first sergeant. Yeah, okay. There are a lot of good. Most teachers teach this very well. They do teach about the Confederacy, what it really represented, and such. Okay, let's go.
I'll give you one more chance. Pro or anti-slavery?
No comment.
Again, easy. Okay.
I'll give you one more opportunity to say if you're pro or anti-slavery.
No comment.
All right. Well, there you have it. No comment on the if you're in favor of slavery or not. Hey guys, where are you guys coming in from?
Avon Lake.
Avon Lake. America
Traitors,
first?
losers, traitors.
Land of the free, home of the brave.
It's got the Confederate flag now.
Is the Confederate flag the thing to put out there if you want to bring this nation together?
The Confederate flag is a Southern heritage, and
here we go.
that's being
Here
divided and taken away from us, our Southern heritage.
You know what, folks? I'll buy it. Let's say it is a Southern heritage. What was the heritage of the South in this regard? Do I need to does this idiot not know? I mean, well, let's admit it. He does know. He knows. Okay. This is Ohio. I live in Ohio. Great. Lovely. I feel so safe. This is fantastic. Love it.
Heritage. No, I stand against that. But it has nothing to do with racism.
But people think of it because you know, it represents slavery and then anti-slavery. Do you understand why people might think that?
What about people that don't understand the swastika?
Did you just say swastika?
Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, the swastika is a sign of peace. Hitler took it in 1935 when he became chancellor. He took it and turned it into evil.
But do you want people wearing a swastika around?
I don't care if they wear a swastika around. It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother you?
No, because it doesn't mean what everybody thinks it means.
Yeah, do we think people are going around wearing the swastika because they're pro-peace? Is this what this guy is? I don't like, I don't even know what to say to that. I almost feel bad criticizing him. I feel like he must be deeply uneducated. Like, I don't know. This is okay.
But could you understand if people? But could you understand if people didn't want to see a swastika around?
Yeah, I can understand it.
So could you understand why the Confederate flag might make people feel the same way?
No.
Of course not. Of course not.
Respect the flag. You know what I hate? You see people sometimes and they'll desecrate the flag. Have you seen that? Like, they don't respect the flag. They'll like put markings on the flag. They'll like put text
like
over a
this?
flag.
Right.
They'll put like, they'll change the colors of the flag. And I'm like, that's the American flag. You never
Right,
ever do anything
Joshua.
to desecrate the American flag, ever. This is another good one. You have the text going right over the flag there, and it looks nice. And then there's like, it's splattering. That's cool.
It is though, yeah.
So you were saying you did lose your job as a result of the vaccines.
Yep, because I just wasn't allowed in people's homes without a mask, or a lot of people would ask me, are you vaccinated?
And it was at a big company or no?
Small company, self-employed, just myself. And,
Okay, so
and my
you
kids, yeah.
you kind of had to let yourself go. You fired yourself.
Important to always respect the American flag. We love the American flag. You should never put something over it like a giant skull with another American flag on that.
According to the flag code, folks, I really don't care about the flag code. I don't care. It's just a symbol. People can do whatever they want with it. It's freedom of speech. But this is hilarious. They don't understand. They don't see the irony in talking about desecrating the flag when they're technically breaking the flag code.
Skull that's disrespecting it twice, or just put a bunch of writing on it. That would be very disrespectful, and anyone that would do that would be a son of a bitch, according to Donald Trump. All right. You for or against gay marriage?
I'm against.
Sure.
Is there a reason?
Okay, easy. Okay, there's an easy way to fix that. Don't get gay married. Don't marry a man. If you don't want to be married if you don't like gay marriage, don't get married to a man. Easy fix. Easy fix. Easy fix. I mean, let's be honest. He probably is gay because he doesn't like gay people. Who knows? But okay, we'll see what he says.
Why?
Well, it's not biblical. I mean, I believe in what the Bible says.
Yeah, you know what is biblical though? Polygamy, where there is one man, multiple wives, and the man owns the wives. Slavery is talked about a lot in the Bible. It's very pro-slavery. It's pro-beating your children. It is pro-genocide. It is pro-mass murder. So again, yeah, great. It's biblical. Great. So does that mean well, he might be pro-slavery, pro-treating women as chattel, pro all that other crap.
Leviticus 20:13, if a man lays with a man as he lays with a woman, surely he should be put to death. I have a question. Have you ever eaten shrimp before?
Yep. Okay. Oh, this guy, he knows his shit. In the Bible, it says it says eating shellfish is an abomination. It also says a man laying with another man is an abomination. So technically, they're on the same level. So eating shrimp, according to the Bible, is on the same level as a man being with another man or a woman being with another woman. Though I think it does just say man with a man. So I guess if he eats shrimp, then is he an abomination?
No.
Have you eaten shrimp before?
Yeah.
Do you think we should outlaw eating shrimp?
No.
Because in Leviticus it says not to eat shrimp.
I didn't read that.
Okay. It's in the Bible.
Of course he didn't.
I didn't read it.
Have you ever eaten pork before?
Of course.
Do you think we should outlaw eating pork?
No.
It's in the Bible that you can't eat pork, though.
I didn't read it that way.
Should we outlaw gay marriage?
Okay, admittedly, folks, I'll hand it to that guy. At least he had to pause to think the next time, right? That is progress of a sort, I guess. I guess that's progress of a sort. Okay. I got a lot of good. Yeah, I'm actually quite proud of the guy. Okay, I've had students before where they deeply believe something, and then I've explained it to them, and then it's always a good sign if the second time you ask them, they pause to think because they are noticing a contradiction, which is at the very least a step forward. Okay, it probably didn't change his mind, but at last that is a step. I will give it to him there. Let's go on.
The Bible should be taught in schools.
Yes. Yeah. Most definitely.
Oh.
Because children have gotten away from that.
You know what's funny too? I talked about all the horror that's in the Bible. These are the same kind of people who want to ban all kinds of other books, and yet they're okay with kids reading violent imagery, genocidal imagery, misogynistic imagery, and stuff in the Bible. I mean, okay, I just don't. Okay.
You know, because they have, and it needs to be put back in all the schools, Catholic schools and public schools.
So you want the Bible back in school. Do you think there are books that should be banned from schools?
Yeah, of course.
There is a book that has a story of two daughters getting their father drunk.
Oh, I love The Good Liars. He's pulling the Bible thing. Josh, they must have forgotten about the wall of separation between church and state. One of the reasons I like being American, okay, and you know the number of those things are kind of few these days. One of the things I like about the United States is that it was founded as a secular state with a separation of church and state, and we are seeing that massively eroded. Okay, it is a quiet scene. Let me turn it up a bit, folks. The scene is very quiet. Let me turn it up if I can. There. Hopefully that'll help a little bit. Let's see now what they say. By the way, a lot of good comments here, folks. I will read them as soon as we're done with this. It's almost over.
And having sex with them. Would you want that in a school?
No, absolutely. Yeah, of course not. Of course not.
No.
That's outrageous.
That's the devil's work. We don't want the devil's work in school.
All right, well, there you have it. Talk to some people who want the Bible taught in school, but also want the Bible banned in school. So,
fill it up, it's about 160, and I get about 400 miles on the tank, so it's a lot.
So you got this huge truck here, and it's running right now, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to charge my phone.
So you're running the truck to charge the phone?
Yeah.
But you're concerned about gas prices?
Well, I'm not really concerned. It's one of those things you got to have it. So, but it'd be nice.
Even if you got to run the truck to charge the phone?
Yeah.
You would describe yourself as a Christian, is that right?
Absolutely.
You live by the Bible?
I try my best.
And do you think all Americans should be living biblically?
I believe so, yes. I believe the entire world, not just Americans.
How are you going to do that?
So you think the world should be a Christian world?
Absolutely.
What do you think about freedom of religion?
I believe in freedom of religion. You can be Baptist, you can be Lutheran, you can be Catholic, you can do whatever. That's free.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Just naming a bunch of subgroups of Christianity does not make you freedom of religion. Yeah, exactly, folks. I don't have a problem with people wanting to be Christians, but please don't force it on other people. And the hilarity there of being like, yeah, I believe in freedom of religion. Yeah, I believe in Protestants. I believe in Catholics. I believe in Lutheran. Okay, yeah, we get we get it. Okay.
Religion.
I don't think Donald Trump is a fascist.
No, not by any means possible.
And what would you like to see the military do when Trump becomes president?
I'd like to see the military go after everybody in Washington, D.C. and arrest them all. And the ones that are guilty, they need to be hung. And they need to be hung in public.
And you'd like Donald Trump to do that?
Wow.
I'd like the military to do that.
With Donald Trump's blessing?
Absolutely.
And do you think Donald Trump...
And he's saying that Donald Trump isn't a fascist, and he doesn't think he's a fascist and stuff, and he's promoting fascist methods here, public executions and things like that. Great. God, okay.
Fascist?
No.
Right, Greg? Welcome to
I've
chat,
literally been
Greg.
using Grammarly for so long now. I
Okay.
used it throughout my whole
Greg
school
here
and
says, yeah, because the guns shoot themselves at people. Right, Greg? Apparently in this country, guns just, oh, wait, Greg. Am I misinterpreting what you're saying? Yeah, because the guns just shoot themselves at people. Oh, I see, Greg. I'm sorry. I misinterpreted your comment here. Greg, if people didn't have access to the guns and they wanted to kill people, they would not have such an easy time of doing it. Guns don't kill people, but they definitely help kill people. So I am not saying we need to ban all guns. I am saying they need to be massively regulated like they are in every other country, so that we don't see the mass number of gun deaths that we see today. It is out of control. Okay. Okay. Let me let's finish.
university career.
There's a little. Oh, that was the end of it. Okay, folks. That was another good video. Okay. Okay, guys. All right. So let me see what we have here in chat. Looks like we got a lot of good chats here. Let me get my face back up here. Okay. All right. Let's see here. What do we got in chat here? Okay. Okay, guys. All right. Oh God, so many good chats. Yeah, that's Ohio. Can't even say he's pro-slavery. Yep. Apparently, that's hard to do these days to say you're pro-slavery. What the hell are we coming to? Long Beach Dragon. Wasn't there a state that still used the Confederate flag as part? Yep, there was. Was it Mississippi, Alabama, something like that? One of those deep southern states still used it. Macy Schroeder. We just need pretty girls to act interested if you want them to confess something. It's not that deep, right? Okay. Alexa, play "Loser" by Beck. Volatile. I love it. Okay. Yes. Yeah. The swastika. Okay. I'm not trying to make fun of his accent, but that was kind of funny. He's going to use native symbol, I guess, apparently, right? In America, folks. Yeah. The swastika has different meanings in different cultures. But if you're wearing the swastika in America, I think it's pretty obvious what your intentions are there. Alan W. Literally, the only American heritage is multiculturalism from being a melting pot. White American literally has no original culture. Yeah, it absolutely is a melting pot. There are different sort of strains there from different countries. Absolutely. Joshua, I feel like he's using a logical fallacy. Well, you got me there, Joshua. Yeah, multiple logical fallacies. MK Ultra. They never see the irony in what they're saying. Yep, they seem to lack. By the way, welcome back, MK Ultra. They seem to lack any sort of self-reflection, any sort of self-awareness about the obvious contradictions in what they're saying. Macy, Josh, I think his doctor would be proud. He hasn't had another major stroke, and glad he's doing it, even if it is BS. That's Macy. Okay, Drizilla, if you're not in Asia, yep. Yeah, Josh, you're right about the education part. Volatile, what? Exactly, right? Alan W., it's my body, my choice. I shouldn't be forced to wear a mask. Oh my God, Alan, brilliant thing to point out here. Alan says, it's my body, my choice. I shouldn't be forced to wear a mask, but also abortion is immoral and should be banned. Yeah. Yep, because they don't really view women as human beings, so you can control them all you want. But when it comes to them, they're little snowflakes, and no one can do anything, even if it helps other people. I know, Muriel. I don't know how many even finished high school. To be honest, many of them probably did finish high school, but the education system is not great, so that might be why. Yeah, the tooth whistle. Okay, Long Beach Dragon. He's against it because the dude he crushed on in high school rejected him. Oh my God, Long Beach Dragon, you are almost certainly right. You can definitely see that trauma in his eyes. Okay, he was hurt, and now he needs to do this nonsense. Yeah, you're right, Alan. Like if you don't want gay people to get married, if you don't like abortion, then there's two easy things you can do: don't get gay married and don't get an abortion. Okay, you don't. Why does everyone else have to follow your limited worldview, your oppressive limited worldview? Okay. The Handmaid's Tale is based on a Bible verse. I actually didn't know that, Macy. I am not surprised, but that I didn't know that. Yeah, Zorhan, Mom Scrawny, Real Life Cat DJ. Welcome back, Real Life Cat DJ, by the way. Original translation is said not to lay with kids. Macy, I don't know. I don't know about that. I will say, regardless of what the original translation is, a lot of people translate it as man with man or whatever it may be. Anyway, if anyone's curious, if you want to go down kind of a rabbit hole, look up the Gospel of Judas. I think it is. I think it's called the Gospel of Judas, where it's one of the Gospels that the church didn't include within the Gospels, where Jesus was in a homosexual relationship with his disciples. They didn't include that. I'm not saying that was what Jesus was, but obviously picking and choosing which Gospels to put in the Bible. Yeah, very possible, Joshua. It may have been a mistranslation. I don't know enough about that specifically. Volatile people can just pick parts of the Bible they agree with. Yep. Kind of feeling like it's missing the point. Yep. Yep, it is. It is. Okay. Drusilla, do they think you can only have one type of marriage legal? Yeah, apparently. Apparently that, only the kind that they're okay with. And then oftentimes, even in that case, it is not an equal arrangement. A lot of these folks probably think that women should be submit to their husbands. We've seen multiple videos like that during the live streams. Long Beach Dragon. Long Beach Dragon says shellfish, meat with cheese, different fabrics, different meats together, pork and by connection, touching footballs. All of those things in the Bible are called an abomination on par with a man laying with another man. So I hope none of those folks ever have touched a football, eaten pork, done anything like that. Okay. All right. Wow, he was thinking there, right? Brand rebooting. Okay. Yep, and they definitely forgot about the separation of church and state. Drusilla, they want to read about daughters raping their father. Yeah. Yep. Apparently that's the Bible. Okay. You're right. It is a pointless argument. I mean, you're not going to convince these folks. Turn it okay. Yep. Real life Cat TJ, this is just an atheist gotcha. You can continue litigating this all you want, but it's pointless. Oh, I know, but it still is interesting to point out these folks have a lot of contradictions in their heads, which you can kind of see there. Macy Schroeder, he's going to do what President Garrison suggested. Yeah, I know. Yeah, go to church if you want to learn about the Bible. Go to church. People should be able to practice their religion. We live in a multicultural country with multiple different religions. Some people aren't religious. Shouldn't force it down people's throats in schools. That is called theocracy. Don't want that. Don't want that at all. Yeah. Yep. Mithril, the reason the UK and the rest of Europe is so much more secular than the US is because our church is pretty tied up with the state at CasualRevolt. Mithril, I think modern day that is the case. When the United States was originally founded, it was founded to be secular because they didn't want it to be like Britain, where the king is the head of the church. Modern day, you're absolutely right. But the founding was one of the most secular states in the world at the time. But you're absolutely right that modern day, that has definitely slid back. Very much so. Yeah, no, real life Cat DJ. And I actually I've taught world religions before in public schools. Of course, in that case, you teach about all these religions in a non-biased, neutral, third-party way, so people have a general understanding of these things. You obviously don't promote one religion over another. And yeah, that is anthropology. Long Beach Dragon, we don't want the devil's work in schools. Looks back 3 hours ago to see the Catholic school shooting. Yep, apparently, Long Beach Dragon. You can be straight, you can be super straight, and you can be extra uber duper straight, Macy. Volatile, these guys just want authoritarianism because they think imposing their ill-founded morals on people will make the world a better place. Yeah, they do. And I know I get so irritated when I watch these things. A lot of these folks group in communities where that's the only way of thinking. They have not had a chance to think much outside the box. A lot of these folks are low income, haven't live in communities where their education systems aren't great. There are structural things that can be done to make this less common. Okay. Meowzord, you can have extra large Christianity, Christianity light, Christianity Baja Blast. Yeah, that's kind of what he was saying. Hun, Joshua, Hun. Yeah, okay. The real life cat DJ. This guy is 54% walrus mustache, right? Real life cat DJ. A Christianity with cane sugar. Thanks, RFK, right, Meowsord? Garrett, I wonder how in the same breath they say people who don't like something about the U.S. should get out, but when they don't like separation of church and state, they don't follow their own advice. Krista, I couldn't agree with you more, okay? I couldn't agree with you more. Lynn, the first form of public entertainment, well, public executions, really. The Chosen and that guy, right? Elliot, ball knowledge. Right? Real life cat DJ. Okay. Right, Greg. Right, Greg. No comment. I mean, what is going on there, Greg? I may have misinterpreted your other comment here, but yes, Greg. Why doesn't he just say no? That's like the easy answer. Krista, regardless of what the Bible says, we as a society are allowed to move away from it's too dated. That's a fair argument, Krista. Folks in chat know I'm an atheist, but I don't. People can practice whatever religion they want. I agree with you, Krista. I think people can be responsible about their belief systems. I just wish they wouldn't be forcing it on other people, and hurting other people because of their beliefs. Macy Schroeder, you think they'd let people gay marry if they could child marry? Oh. You know what, Macy? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Joshua, let's make a new religion that basically says, don't be a dick. I support that, Josh. Jay Shadow, is that true? I mean, I know you've told me before. I think you live in Missouri. Is that where it is? I know you mentioned some of that. Your uncle wants a Christian theocracy. I mean, I'm not surprised. There are a lot of folks like that. Macy, should atheists start going to church mass and questioning their logic since they're trying to use their church to control atheists? That's a really interesting point, Macy. Okay. Yeah, Alan, 100%. Now, Alan says, I've said this before, but I feel like the way Islam would be taught in American schools would be so disingenuous and Islamophobic. Now, Alan, I will say this. I've experienced it both ways. I have actually taught about Islam in comparative religion classes, and I did not, at least, of course, from my perspective, did not teach it in a disingenuous and Islamophobic way, but I have absolutely have seen teachers do that to the point where I don't know if it should even be done because there are so many teachers out there that have Islamophobic views of the world. I suspect it would happen far more often. I feel like there's more teachers, less teachers like me that are out there than there are teachers who would absolutely misinterpret Islam because of their own deep-seated stuff. Okay. Okay. All right, let's see here. My uncle, okay, should atheists? Josh. Honestly, people like that lady who wanted Bible in schools is the reason why more people are leaving religion. Yeah. All the stats show that many people are no longer associated with organized religion. They still call themselves spiritual or religious, but they don't associate with any organized religion because they're very tired of organized religious institutions doing this kind of shit, trying to push this stuff on people. And there are, number of people who identify as non-religious is also going up. Real life Cathy J, no, it's not the reason why Europe is more secular, is because of capitalism not being as pervasive in the U.S. Religion only thrives when material you know what, Real life Cathy J, that's a really good point, and you're right. There is a connection between increasing religiosity and bad material conditions, so poverty, things like that. Remember what Marx said. Marx said that religion is the opiate of the people. It helps keep them distracted from their troubles. If you live in a society that has a lot of troubles, a lot of people will turn to religion for comfort. That is an absolutely true point, Real Life Cat DJ. Okay, and I didn't even consider that when I was talking about it. Good idea, good point. Hey, Alt Diego Brando, welcome back. Hope school went well for you. Mithril, material conditions are pretty bad here in the UK, but no rise in religiosity. That's a fair point, Mithril. There are lots of factors involved in this, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes into this, religiosity and such. There's not really one metric that can be used to sort of predict this. But it is true. I mean, Real Life Cat DJ is right in general. Okay, it's bad in the UK where that's fair, Real Life Cat DJ. It is pretty bad elsewhere. Macy Schroeder, some teachers aren't qualified to teach math. I'm being sincere, not malicious. No, Macy, you're right about that. There's actually a lack of there's a lack of math teachers, so a lot of times schools will hire math teachers that aren't as skilled at it. There's a lot of teachers out there that are not skilled at what they do for a number of reasons. Maybe I'll go into it sometime. Okay, Greg, tell me exactly what law you suggest that would have prevented this maniac from doing what he did. Greg, I'm not trying to dodge your question here. I don't know enough about what happened here today to comment on that. But I will say, because if you're referring to the shooting that happened at the Catholic school, I was even telling Chatty earlier, I haven't read much about it because I'm so sick of hearing about these things. But I will say overall, Greg, I can tell you it's a matter of statistics. In a country as large as the United States, some portion of people are going to want to hurt and kill people, okay? And that's the same in every country. If you have guns everywhere, it's going to make it a lot easier for some of those people who want to kill people to get a gun and then do mass destructive damage with those guns. Okay. And that's why in a lot of countries that a lot of countries with guns and stuff, that have strict gun regulations have far fewer gun deaths, because if you do that, I mean, if you limit guns, some of the people who want to commit the crime, who want to kill people with guns, won't be able to do it. And instead, they'll use something like knives, or they'll use some other kind of weapon, which will not be nearly as deadly. K. Henry G. I converted my mom and sister to agnostic in an accident. Oh, well, hey, welcome back, Henry G. Interesting. I wonder how you accomplished that. Okay, Alan W. Greg, regulate guns so literally anyone can't walk into Walmart and leave with a gun, for starters. I agree with that. And I'm not saying that guns should be completely banned. I'm just saying we need some little limits on there, okay? Macy, easy to mess up a kid's view of math if you don't do it right. Absolutely. Greg, this person apparently transitioned as a minor, so... Greg, can you clarify that so I don't have to ban you? Okay. Are you suggesting that transitioning as a minor means you're mentally ill? Please tell me in chat. Because if you are, that is extremely homophobic and just not accurate. But yes, Greg, people with real mental illnesses, transitioning as a minor is not a mental illness. Not a mental illness. Limit people who have mental health from getting guns, which is called a gun regulation, Greg. That is called a gun regulation. Absolutely. Okay. So that would be something you can limit. And if this person did have a mental illness, apart from the one thing you said was a mental illness, that may have prevented the shooting. Yes, absolutely. Because this person, by the way, Greg, was also a neo-Nazi. That is what we're finding. From what I was told in chat, this person's also a neo-Nazi. So maybe if they were not able to get a gun, this would not have happened. Real life Cat TJ, I'm endlessly frustrated. I am endlessly frustrated by the amount of atheist activists that just want to endlessly litigate theology and the history of religion, but never acknowledge the material conditions of people. That is a very fair point, Real Life Cat DJ. Very fair point. Malzor, just like smoking a vape, if it's easy to smoke and it's right there, exactly. Okay. And, a lot of times people will make the argument, well, the United States has a culture issue. There might be some truth to that, but folks, there are people in every country who want to kill people, okay? It's not like Americans are especially violent. Yes, I know we could litigate that a bit, but in general, the issue here is just access to guns. Okay. Don't they do background checks for people who want to get guns? No, Josh, they don't. A lot of places don't. Some places do. Most places don't. I live in a state where there are no background checks for people who want a gun. You just go in and get one. Indiana as well. The next door neighbor. A lot of places don't do background checks. And by the way, too, even if you do background checks, a lot of the people who do the mass gun violence don't have any history of mental illness or don't have any history of crime. The issue, of course, okay. Uh, Greg, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Sorry, what does CS mean? I don't know what that means. So if you, I'm sorry, but if you can tell me what that means. Okay. 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 Let's see here. Okay. Macy Schroeder, Cat DJ, I'm becoming anti-theist anymore. People are responsible for taking care of people, not some ghost in the sky. Macy, I understand that perspective. I've hold a similar one, but I'm not. I also am an anthropologist, and I know the importance of religion to people. I would not, yeah, I agree, Josh. They absolutely should be standard. They absolutely should be standard. We definitely need more gun regulations. Yo, you're right, real life cat TJ. People like Sam Harris and Christopher Hitchens and stuff really pushed a lot of bad stuff against Muslims. Okay, you're absolutely right about that. Alan W. People don't realize you go through years of doctors, psychiatrists, and therapy appointments for years before finally being able to transition as a minor. Yeah, it's not like these doctors are just handing out transitions to minors. It is a long process. It is a hard process. I much more trust the health professionals than I do any of the Trump administration or any of these conservatives trying to limit that. Oh, is that true, real life cat DJ? Who did originally come up with that? I am curious. Was that Christopher Hitchens or one of the new atheists, a lot of whom were extremely Islamophobic? Okay, thank you, Greg. Thank you. Okay, I will say I do appreciate you too, Greg. Thank you for being respectful and not. Thank you for calling me a dingbat. I kind of like that insult, actually. You're always respectful. You're always respectful, so you are entitled to the same. Thank you, Greg. Thank you for that. Okay. I'm actually glad you're in here, Greg. I like being able to hear what people from outside of the way I think and stuff say about these things. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Could have been borrowed. Yeah, he may have got. I don't know. Folks, I'm gonna have. I don't know. I don't even know if it was a he. I'm just guessing based off stats, but we'll have to see here. Um, yeah, you'd think, Greg. You really do. You really would think that. It is kind of a sad. Um, yeah, it is that they don't know. Uh, MK Ultra. So MK Ultra says, how about taking away gun rights since MAGA people are okay with changing the Constitution now? Hey, I mean, you're right that MAGA seems to be really screwing with the Constitution. I don't. I this now I may get some lefty pushback here. I don't think we should completely ban guns or take them away, just because there is some benefit to people being armed. Let's say, in theory, if the government were to get too rowdy, I just think there should be some common sense gun laws, and the majority of Americans agree with that. I know that a lot of folks really disagree with that, but I also don't think it's a realistic thing. If you ban guns, there are more guns than people in the United States. How would you deal with that even? It would be very authoritarian, and there'd be a lot of violence. Okay, Meowzord, yeah, I mean, there was that one kid whose parents bought him one. At least the parents were charged. Yeah, yeah. Henry G, are people mad at Mondami for wanting to hire social workers to help the police, which can prevent things like this? Maybe not this one, but would help a lot. Yeah, yeah, I think so. I mean, we need to deal with some of the issues that cause the need for so many police, or that cause us, all the crime and such. We need to deal with some of the base issues here, and social workers could help with that. Right, Henry G. That's so. Uh, okay, so guys, this is a great conversation. Quick question: where is that other person who is generally opposed? I'm not sure. Oh, I don't know, Macy. I don't know if that individual will be coming back to chat. I think maybe my little blow up kind of may have pushed that person away, but hey, it happens. Jonas, wait, so how does gun regulations work? What gun regulations, Jonas? We have almost none. I mean, we have like a few weak gun regulations, but our politicians are deeply corrupt and bribed by the NRA and gun manufacturers, so they never want to take any action on gun violence, even though we have more gun violence than any country on the planet Earth. It is really quite unfortunate. Okay, you guys want gun rules in place to ensure states don't stop pragmatic laws? Yep. We do not, Jonas. I know, Jonas. So a lot of people from outside of the United States look at the United States and go, "What the heck are they doing with the guns?" It's a mess. It's a mess. Yeah, Mithril. My late dad was a clergyman. We knew about material conditions as his parish was a very poor part of Northwest England. He used his faith to offer a helping hand, never to condemn. Yeah, and yeah, okay, that's great. Okay, Meowzord, that's true, Greg. I wish they'd teach me something about the Bible, but they never have any real insights. Correct. And again, folks, there are multiple ways to interpret holy books. A lot of these folks come from communities where they have a certain pastor or a certain priest who teach these things this way, and they don't ever get exposed to any other way of looking at it. Okay. Mithril, my late dad was a clergyman. We knew about material. Oh, sorry, I already mentioned that. Henry G, I'm a leftist and I love guns. Right, Henry G, and that's part of the reason I'm kind of in the middle about. I don't think we should ever I don't think we should get rid of that amendment. I don't think all guns should be disappeared. There is a argument to be made about, arming the working class, etc. But I suspect if people don't want guns in the United States, just get the working class armed, black people armed, and women armed, and I'm sure the right wing would suddenly change their tune. Anyway, Lynn is a little political. They are trying to take them away from people. They're trying to take them away from anyone who has ever had a medical card or can be traced to recreational dispensary. Yeah, that is a fix to a non-existent problem. Taking them away from people who go to dispensaries, that has nothing to do with the issue. Lynn, thank you for the comment. Gotcha, real life cat. Yeah, I didn't know that. That makes sense though. A lot of those new atheists, like Sam Harris, Christopher Hitchens, and stuff, were very, 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 very Islamophobic. Absolutely. Josh, the whole discussion really got me thankful for my high school, since my school wasn't extremely conservative. This was in the deep South. That is a lucky break there, Joshua. I went to a Catholic high school that was later made national news because they fired a gym teacher when they found out she was in a same-sex relationship. I actually had a priest, and folks, okay, let me tell you this real fast, folks. I want you to think about how creepy this is to tell children. We actually had a priest come to our class and talk to us. He was talking to us about sexuality and like the LGBTQ community, and he said the following. He said, the anus is an outie, not an innie. The anus is an outie, not an innie. I was a freshman in high school when a priest came in and said those words to my class. I don't know. That is like bordering on. I think you see what I'm saying. That is really disgusting. I totally understand, Josh. Okay. It is. Yeah, you see what I'm saying. Okay. A Long Beach Dragon, the current Trump administration is evidence of why the Second Amendment is needed. Yeah, in its original intent. Correct, Long Beach Dragon. And that's partially my point here, right? Like, I do kind of get the point of needing guns because the government does have guns. So I would rather there be some guns in the hands of the right people to stop that if it needs to be done. In theory, of course, if the FBI is listening. Real life Catty J, the police should be made up of social workers and sociologists, not cops. Real life Cat DJ, I would have to look into this more. I will say there is a point, though. In modern society, you need some kind of enforcement mechanism because there will always be people who, it's just a matter of statistics, who do want to harm others. And a sociologist or a social worker won't be the ones to do that. I get it, though. As you all know, I'm not exactly pro police officer. I don't think it can be solved by just having professionals like that there. even if you have like a perfect socialist society or whatever it may be, you will still have people who want to harm others, and there will be need some sort of enforcement mechanism for that. Um, just something to think about, real life Cat DJ. I understand your point though. Macy, that Iowa woman should probably be called someone. Yeah, exactly. Yasan, Islamophobia comes from people that forget the Ottoman Empire was more progressive than the West throughout the 15th and 17th century. Jonas, yeah, a lot of the golden age of Islam, especially, very progressive. Islam, by the way, historically was much more open to Jewish people than Christians were. A lot of things like that. Now, I'm not a fan of the Ottoman Empire, but of course, I'm not a fan of any empire, but I do see what you're meaning. A lot of great stuff came from the Islamic world. Algebra. I mean, yeah, yes, Jonas, you're 100% right about that. Alan, if we're being honest, the police aren't good. Uh, okay. Bad people don't follow laws. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Greg. That's for sure. Bad people do not follow laws. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I went down a bit too far. I'm trying to see what else. This is great. These comments are great, though. As Alan W., if we're being honest, the police aren't good at their jobs. They're super ineffective. I'm not sure where to start with fixing it. I think community policing, like Zoran is suggesting, yeah, you could do things like community policing. A lot of times, police officers come from outside the cities where they're policing. You could have a more grassroots type policing. There are ways to do this. I do think we need some kind of enforcement mechanism to protect average people from others who would want to do them harm. It is complicated though, and the way the police force is now is horrific. It's racist. There's tons of other issues with it. Like maybe almost start from scratch. The point here though is that there in most societies there needs to be an enforcement mechanism for these things. Joshua, gun regulations, never heard of her, right? Especially in America. Henry G, funny how California had gun rights until the Black Panthers. Henry G, you're after my own heart. Yep, they did, and it was Reagan, by the way. The governor of California at the time was Reagan, and as soon as Black Panthers started walking around with guns, he immediately put on gun regulations. Okay, Meow Zord. I'm not going to say that out loud, Meow Zord, but okay, the comment about the pyramids. Okay, Long Beach Dragon. Now, I'm not saying there shouldn't be regulation, but Trump's overreach and authoritarian. Yeah, Long Beach Dragon, you might have a point there. Maybe at this point, yeah. Yeah, MK Ultra, you're right. If we had any real police, there'd be less crooked politicians, and they would be put in prison much easier. Which is why, yeah, this is why like our current police forces work on the behest of capital. They work on the behest of the wealthy and the powerful, and they are oppressive towards minority groups. So I don't know the answer to this. It is a very complex question, but yeah, you're right. Okay. MK Ultra, if there are any gotta keep your bicycle pure, right? Yikes. Josh, what are you saying yikes to, Josh? I'm not sure here. Tell that to my Oh, I see what I was saying. Yeah, tell that to my proctologist. Whoa, sir. I know. I know. Okay. MK Ultra Orphanage. If one person's constitutional rights are being violated, then everyone's constitutional rights are being violated. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. Okay. Okay, Alan W. Okay, Greg. So, will people not break bad laws? Government bouncers. Yeah. See, this is why, folks. I'm always saying there's some things I don't know the answer to. I obviously, right, because I'm human. Real life Cat DJ. That actually is a fair point. I apologize if I misinterpreted what you said. Real life Cat DJ says a sociologist and social worker can still have police training. You're right, and you know what? I would actually like that if we had like trained sociologists and trained social workers with police powers, with police training. That might be better, right? I think cops need some training in fields like sociology and social work, because that's a lot of the work they're having to do. So that you're right, that might actually be a way to help solve the problem if we change how police are educated. Little Iggy, welcome to chat, Little Iggy. Little Iggy says, is there a correlation between mass shootings and trans people? Seems like it. No, Little Iggy, no, there is not. That is no. Okay. There are people of every demographic group commit mass shootings. If anything, there is a correlation between white young men committing mass shootings. There is not a correlation with trans people doing it. None. Not any. Jonas, I get sick of homophobia in Muslim community. Sexual orientation isn't a choice. Correct. Just like how I love black women, not an active choice. Explaining that feels like a battle. No, Jonas, I completely understand that. Okay, and you have to understand. I know I'm a gay man, but there are a lot of Christians, okay, who don't like are very homophobic. Okay, this is not an issue that's just confined to the Muslim community, as I'm sure you know. Yeah, it's not a choice. It's just it's a group that has historically been viewed as outsiders, and things like that. So okay, okay, yeah, Mithril, there is also a correlation between right wingers and shootings. Alan W. Real Life Cat UK. Long Beach Dragon. Breaking news: Trump moves to bar states and nonprofits such as Red Cross from helping Andami. Of course, of course, of course. Monstrous. Uh, let's see here, guys. Sorry, there's a lot of good comments here. I'm just kind of reading through the comments because they are so good. Reagan did ruin everything, man. Absolutely. Okay. I said, yeah. Okay, I thought, Josh. Okay. Yep, Josh. In America, in the South especially, early police officers, early policing organizations, not all of them, and not all over the country, were originally slave catchers for on reservations and such. But again, this is not every police department was. Real Life Cat TJ, I was talking specifically about chicken for KFC. Lots of UK cops have degrees and stuff. Amazing, Mithro, amazing. That we need something like that. MK Ultra. So it's commie forma Republicans that want to take the guns. That makes much more sense. I remember the LAPD was being run by a racist group. Yeah, they were. Jonas Hassan, in the UK, we ignore gains that aren't black or brown. It's funny how that when black and Muslim people commit crimes, our race religion is put forward as the primary reason for committing crimes. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Jonas. Yep, it is. But then it's not generalized when it's a white person. That's for sure. Greg, such as depression, that is not mean or prejudice. You people need to learn to facts. There is no science behind transitioning children. Greg, so a couple things here. I see what you're saying. Okay. But do we think that a lot of transgender people do suffer from depression and things like that? That is not because they transitioned, or is it? It is not because they transitioned. It is because they live in a society that views them as lesser human beings. It is harder to live as a trans person, especially modern day. So, if there is a correlation between mental health and shootings, it is not because of the transitions. And I'd like to point out that this person who did this shooting recently was also a neo-Nazi. Which of those things do we think was a greater contributor to what they did? Them being a neo-Nazi or them being transgender? I feel like neo-Nazi is probably the one. I get what you're saying about the depression. You are right in that regard. A lot of trans folks do suffer from depression not because they transition, but because they live in a society that is kind of oppressive towards trans people. Okay. And Greg, I will also say this. There is also a great deal of science behind transitioning children. There is actually a lot of science out there. And I'm not that is why it is such a long process to transition as when you're a child, because all the medical providers involved need to go through a long process of ensuring it's the right thing to do. Yeah, I feel like, Greg, you may need to just, again, thank you for being respectful and stuff here, Greg. I do appreciate it. But maybe just do a look into that a bit more. I will too. I mean, I have not seen what you're saying here, but from what I know, all the scientific community agrees on this almost universally, except for some fringe figures. Um, Right, Greg. Thank you. Thank you for saying so. Yeah, of course they are entitled to equal right and treatment. I do know what you mean though, Greg. I mean, as in I do know what you mean about the depression issue and things like that. Okay. All right. Okay. Real life cat DJ. I am trans. You don't know anything about trans people. Yeah, I'm again, Greg. Maybe just look into some of the the scientific research into transitioning children. There is a lot of it out there, and experts universally agree, pediatricians and stuff, that it is a safe and effective method of transitioning people. And also, by the way, actually increases their life expectancy because suicide rates and stuff are much higher for people who don't transition earlier in life. Uh, yeah, and again, this idea of and I know I will say, folks, Greg did say he believed trans people are entitled to equal rights and treatment. But it is true that there is such a small portion of the population. The fact that it is the topic that keeps being brought up in a lot of cases is interesting. Let's just put it that way. It kind of is reflective of what it's about. Um, okay. Yeah, Greg, also just note the stories you hear are about cherry picked. Consider the stories you're not hearing about. Yeah. Yep. Jonas, I saw a comment that justified trans suicide as proof of it being a mental illness. Maybe that's because of how we treat them. Yeah. Yes, it is. Okay. It is not easy to be a trans person in this society, especially nowadays. And I suspect, I'm almost 100% certain that a lot of that mental health issue comes from living in such a situation where you're mistreated and things like that. Um, Yeah, exactly. Real life cat. Thank you, real life cat TJ. If you don't mind, I'm going to say it out loud. If I transitioned before hitting puberty, I wouldn't have ended up in the hospital after failed attempt. Right. People who transition before puberty have a much lower chance of attempted suicide. So it is beneficial for children and adults who get it early under medical supervision, of course. Meowzord, all this said, Greg, we're not trying to dogpile. We appreciate you trying to understand and aren't being hateful. Yeah, and thank you, folks, for not dogpiling on Greg here. Greg was being very respectful, and we need to be able to try and get through to some folks. I don't know if he's still here, but thank you, Greg, for that. And we appreciate you and what the arguments you're making, or you attempting to just talk with us. Yeah, exactly. Real life cat EJ. Most trans people live. Yeah. Okay. Um, okay, Macy, Mithril, did you ever need to use a litter box in school, like the rumor MAGA started? That's funny. Yeah, yep, real life cat DJ. Yep, yep. Okay. Greg did admit they are humans with rights. He did. Yeah, yeah. I'm not, folks. For those who are in chat, I am a teacher. I am trying to educate more people. So if I'm not blowing up at Greg, it is not because I don't deeply support the rights of trans people. Okay, okay, Alan W. Right wingers are hypocrites too because people like Joe Rogan use testosterone, which is literally H. Right, that's a very good point. Okay, guys, so I'm going to get off for now. Okay, I think it is about 4:47. Thank you, Joshua, for saying so. You folks in chat, you often probably notice that when people come in here that have alternate points of view than we do, okay, I will directly address them and try to get through to them. I know it is sometimes it is a kind of like, I understand that it doesn't always work. But I have had to teach people like this. I feel I just have to try. Okay, I see a human being, and I need to I know a lot of them in brainwash. So, okay, guys. Okay. All right, guys. So let me quickly do. Yeah. Okay. Let me do my last little bit here. I think you all know what's coming. So you're going to get off now. Long Beach Dragon. Long Beach Dragon. Yes, folks, please join Discord if you haven't already. We have a great little community growing on there. Hey, Macy, would you mind putting it in chat if you don't mind, putting the Discord link? If anyone in here isn't in Discord, please join the Discord. We have a great little community here. Thank you, everyone who sent me super chats today. I think it was mainly Sir Bartholomew, some other folks. Thank you for that. I'm going to get off now. I'll wait a minute here for Macy to, if Macy can, or whoever else wants to post it in chat, the Discord link. Or you know what? I can actually do it. What am I doing? I can do it. Let me grab it real fast for anyone who wants to join. We have 84 people now. I mean, Jesus. Okay. Okay, I mean, I got it now. Copy. All right. Ooh, you know what? Real life cat DJ? That's a great idea. Delta room thing. I'm going to tell you probably not tonight, but let's do that tomorrow. Let's totally do a Delta room stream. Yes, Jonas, I love Philomena Kunk. I love her. Yeah, we'll definitely watch that too, okay? Yeah. Okay, guys. All right, guys. So you know what I'm going to say here. So here's the Discord link. If you guys would like to join, please join. Thank you everyone for your support. If you want to become a member, please click the join button beneath my video. And for as little as 99 cents a month, you become a member and help support me in what I do. Now let's finish up here. Okay, here we go. All right, guys, you know what I'm going to be saying. You all know what I'm going to be saying? I think you know what I'm going to be saying. First and foremost, at this current moment, free Palestine. Free Palestine. They are human beings. We cannot let innocent human beings be slaughtered en masse in a genocide. Free Palestine. Second of all, the easiest way, never stop resisting. The easiest way you can resist is to think for yourselves. The easiest way you can resist is to think for yourselves. And that includes when you watch me. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Okay. Don't only watch me, get other people's point of view. Don't get into an information silo. Think for yourselves. Look at other people. That is the easiest way you can resist. Thirdly here. Okay. We are living in a fascist moment in this country, not only here, but around the world. Okay. Fascism arises when people start losing faith in their democratic institutions. They start losing faith in their society. They are economically distressed. They turn to more radical means to change things. The way to fix this is through major reforms. We need major reforms in this country. You cannot stand in the center. You cannot stand in the center. If you stand in the center, the fascists will walk all over you. You cannot stand in the center. You must advocate for radical changes. We need to push a bit to the left. It doesn't have to be crazy, but we need to push to the left. Lastly, on the wall behind me is Chainbreaker. Chainbreaker is a sword on the wall. Okay, this is the sword on the wall. It is a sword from the Civil War. It is rumored that Chainbreaker was responsible for the death of 7 slave owners. Why do I have it back there? I have it back there to remind everyone that our ancestors have made tremendous sacrifices to get some of the things we have today, some of the freedoms we have, some of the civil rights, some of the economic justices. We cannot let their sacrifice go to waste. We can't do it, folks. We just can't. Here and around the world, we cannot let the sacrifice of the people that came before us go to waste. And we always have to fight for a better future. And on that note, folks, thank you for joining me today. Have a great rest of your day. I'll come back on tomorrow. I probably won't stream again this evening, but I'll come back on tomorrow. Have a good night.